welcome to Growcon. How are we feeling? Good. Good. It is so good to see all of you. I couldn't be more excited that we are here. The day has come. Growcon is kicking off, and all of you are in here. So I have already had so many conversations that have just been amazing so far, catching up with friends, meeting some new friends, having some really good conversations that we were awaiting to have when we got to Growcon. So I just want to say it's great to see you. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're taking your business serious, and I'm glad that you chose to take 3 days out of your schedule to take your business to the next level. So that's what we're doing here. You are here. Yes, we're on the beach. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be so fun. But we're here to be serious about growth, to be serious about business. So that's what we're going to focus on for the next 3 days. We've got a packed schedule for you. I'm going to get into it a little bit before I bring up our first speaker of the day. But we've got a great schedule. We have tiered it to where each day has a different focus area. So day one, which we are in right now. So this is our half day starting kickoff point. Day one is going to be focused on lead generation. More leads, more sales, more profit. This is a tagline that we go by. Day two is going to be all about sales. And day three is going to be all about how to take your business to the next level from a profitability standpoint. So I'm going to get into it. So today we're focusing on lead generation. This is what your sessions are going to be about. I urge you, get involved, make sure you are at your sessions, make sure that you're meeting and greeting others around you. One of the beautiful things about the way we structure our growth event that we put on, I just had a vendor session and I shared this with them and I'll share the same with you, is that if you're here and you're sitting in a seat, it is not because we're a software company, it's not because you're a user, it's not because you're coming here for any other reason than to grow your business. So many of you are current clients of Marketopia, many of you are not. You just want to come and learn and gather some great content. That's wonderful, and learn how these vendors can better your business as well. We did something a little strategic this year. Typically we have our vendor expo row out in the hallway. We did it last year, looked amazing, was fabulous, but this is so much more intimate, and you get to see all the vendors as you're sitting here. So you'll get a lot more FaceTime with them. You'll get to look around, grab some things. So we'll do a lot in this room together. So I want to get into just a couple housekeeping items. I'm going to go through how we've structured this event for you. So we've made it so easy. This is not going to be multiple locations, huffing it to get from here to there to everywhere. It's so easy. This is our main room. We're going to spend the lion's share of the event in here together, soaking up information from some really amazing speakers. We are bringing to the table different authors. We're bringing to the table things that you probably don't have in other conferences, like how you can make your personal life better, how you can be a better CEO or business owner and balance that with family, how you can understand what you need your business to look like from a valuation perspective if you're looking to take on an event in the near future, or you really are looking to do something with your business. So we've got so much packed into here with the idea for you to achieve your dreams, achieve whatever it is that you're sitting there that you hope for. Everyone has different thoughts, different visions of the future, different things that you're working towards, and we want to be here to support that. So day one, this is what we're going to talk about. So this is where we are right now. We are in the main session. This is what you have to look forward to. So we're going to be talking about, again, lead generation. So we're going to share some things that Marketopia is doing, that we've got cutting edge, that we're bringing to the market, that we want to help with lead generation. Even if you're not a partner of ours, it's not a Marketopia sales pitch. It's just to get you to think about other ways that you can do lead generation too. If you turn to us, great. If you don't, at least it gets you thinking about the type of things you should be putting into your business. Then we're going to go and we're going to get into ways to generate revenue from a lead generation perspective, things you should be thinking about. So we'll have some experts coming up on stage. We've got our premier sponsor, Kaseya, is going to come up and share with you how their partnership can better your business. So again, you can hear what everyone has to say up here on stage and then ask them questions at the booth. As we go through here, we've got a panel that's going to be vendors sharing with you how they're going to help you grow. So I'm going to be leading that panel. It's going to be packed full of information, things that you need to be thinking about, partner programs, enablement tools, MDF funds, platforms that you can utilize to help your business or save some time and money, right? So there's a lot that we're going to talk about. I know you have this. The app is where you can find all the information on the event. There's also a lot of team members floating around with Marketopia or Grow Limitless shirts on. That is our theme this year. We want no limits on your potential to grow. If you look at what's going on for the rest of the day, we're going to have some rapid fire. So this is your opportunity to very quickly meet all the vendors that are here. They're going to get the opportunity to come up on stage, share with you in a speed date fashion why they should be important to you, why you should care about them, and then you can have the opportunity to go visit with them. And then some of the fun items that we've got in the afternoon. So we've got breakout sessions. After we are in this main portion together, we're gonna break out, and that happens upstairs on the 3rd floor. So we've got team members that will guide you. We're gonna have breakout sessions for each of the vendors. When you go up there, if you heard something great in the rapid fire and you wanna make sure that you get to that vendor session, when you go upstairs, there's team members there to help you find your way so that you end up in the right breakout session. So there's gonna be 4 breakout sessions happening. You'll sit in one. Once that concludes, go pick another group to listen to, and then pick another one and another one. So we'll have breakouts, and then we get into our award ceremony this afternoon. So we are going to be giving Marketopia Achievement Awards. So again, many of you are clients of Marketopia, and you have had massive growth in your business, or you've done something outstanding, and we want to award you for that. So be back here, even if you're not a Marketopia client, come see what they're doing, and come see who you should be looking to ask questions about growing your business. So we're gonna do that, and then we get into the really fun things. So we've got happy hour, that's gonna be happening in here, and you'll have an opportunity to connect with everyone, get social. This is a very intimate event, and the idea is that you can make new friends, get multiple opportunities to talk with people, and just be real. There's no reason to be intimidated here. Everyone wants to meet you. You want to meet everyone. That's why we've come. So share best practices with each other as well. So we're going to have the happy hour, and then we're going to go over to the pool, and we're going to have a little tailgate party. I know we sent out these details, but the idea and the theme for the pool party is a tailgate. It is all about getting in the growth game. It is all about kicking off in the tailgate party before we get into the next 2 days of content. So wear your favorite jersey if you packed it, wear your favorite team. We can talk about the rivalries. I know, I've already seen some of the jerseys come out 2 days early, so there was a few being worn around yesterday. So wear your favorite jersey. If you don't have one, no stress. Come as you are and have a good time. Thank you again to our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. I really, really, really hope that you all have some good conversations. One of the things that Marketopia tries to do is bridge the gap between vendors and partners, and really try to make sure that the conversation is happening in the right way. What do partners actually want? What do vendors actually need from the partners, and what do they have to give? And making sure that, that those conversations are happening. And again, here's more vendors that you'll see, our gold sponsors, our silver sponsors, our bronze sponsors. And then we've got some emerging. So some of these are emerging, and some of them have been around and are just kind of like popping up at Growcon for the first time. So make sure you pop around. Some of these you're gonna see on here and you're wondering, okay, wait a minute, what's the MSP play here? I've never actually seen them before. So have that conversation and understand how you can partner with them. The app, I talked about this. If you do not have the app, definitely download it. One of the things that I want to make sure that you do while you're in the app is we have a survey in the app. And this is for a few of the vendor awards that we're gonna be giving out at the end of the show on Wednesday. So it's just 4 awards, best in show, best new offering. So get in there and just vote. Once you're on Wednesday over lunch, get in there and just place your vote. Who do you think that was at Growcon that made a difference or impacted you, again, from a growth perspective? That's what I want us to be thinking about this entire event. We're streaming. So we are live streaming, and there are individuals obviously tuning in live. Not everyone can be here. So another reason why I want each of you to take this so seriously is that not everyone has the opportunity to just leave their business and come for a few days. And this is a luxury to be able to do this, particularly in the time of year that we have it. There's a lot going on. This is a very hectic time of year, but it's so important for the planning of 2024. How are you gonna set yourself up to grow your business to where you want it to be next year and beyond? So I love that each of you are here. Some couldn't make it. You might be in a peer group with someone that couldn't be here. Share out the link. Make sure that they can gain some of this content also, and they can tune in when they're available. All right, you guys pumped? Yeah. Okay. I am very excited to bring on this next individual. I happen to be a big fan of his. I don't know. He is going to kick off the event for us and share just a little bit about his background, a little bit about some of you. I mean, a lot of us have been friends or close or clients or partners for a very long time, but it's interesting. I've had multiple conversations today with friends I've had for years, and we learned new things about each other. So some of you may know his story, his background, or pieces of it, but this is really all about kicking off the event and making sure that we get in the right mindset and really make sure that we're pushing ourselves for growth over the next 4 days and beyond. So without further ado, let's bring up CEO of Marketopia, Terry Hedden.
It is so good to be here. Before I get started, we have a few empty chairs. If you look at a lot of people standing, like 30 people standing, go ahead, come have a seat, especially if you're in a standing only booth. Take up one of the chairs. We're going to be here for a while. It's going to be an intense 3 days, and we don't want anyone to run out of gas, especially as we get to the party events. So it is an honor to be here. It's an honor to be in front of you. For the partners that we have in the room, it's an honor to work with you every day. And for everybody else, I really hope you get a lot out of this. There's a lot of people in this industry that I think deserve to do incredible things, that deserve to make good money now, make great money later when they go to sell, to achieve the goals that they have for themselves and their family. And honestly, you know, when I sold my MSP, that became sort of my mission, is to how do you help as many people as you possibly can? So we launched Marketopia, and it's been a wild ride. You know, we're 9.5 years in now, a little less than 9.5. So next year is our 10-year anniversary. And, you know, we're proud of what we've done. We're part of the hundreds of MSPs that we've helped, dozens and dozens of vendors, maybe 100 vendors, I'm not sure. It's been an honor. And I'm excited to share with you next year, our 10-year anniversary. Hopefully we'll come up with a new way of doing everything we do. Our goal is to get better every single day. One of the, I guess, hardest things about our industry is to see people struggle. There's a lot of people that deserve to win. They're good people. They have hearts of gold. They work really hard. They're very smart. They know technology like the back of their hand. They're able to make a big difference for those that let them do it. But they're being stopped along the way. They're being stopped by things that are outside of their control. And I was having drinks with one of the peer groups. I think it was last peer group or the one before, and someone pulled me aside and said, "Hey, Terry, you know, your story's really inspiring. Can you share it?" So I agreed to do that today. There's a lot of perception that the people in this industry all started with some massive amount of money, maybe a rich father or a venture capitalist investment, angel investment, and that is absolutely not the case. In fact, what I've found is that the people that are successful in this industry are no different than the people who aren't, with one exception. And the people who are struggling are the ones that let things stop them, that let challenges stop them from achieving their goals. I had a tough childhood, came from a broken family, had a very tough life. My parents divorced and hated each other. I found myself home alone, latchkey kid in 4th grade, which was hard to take care of yourself when you're in 4th grade, but actually I had a little sister that was in 2nd grade and I had to take care of her too. I was left home alone a lot, and I would get into some trouble. And one of those times I almost killed myself and almost burned down our family home. I was in Cub Scouts, or Boy Scouts, I'm not sure what it was like in 5th grade, but I think it was Cub Scouts. And I was preparing for a camp trip using a high-pressure backpack stove, and I was out of kerosene, so I used gasoline. And it actually worked really well until one slight error, which is I didn't seal the cap on the fuel tank quite right. And it resulted in an explosion, and I was on fire. I stopped, dropped, and rolled. Was burned 1/3 of my body. Doctors told me I may never see again. I may have scar tissue that we all think of when we think about burn patients. I was burned from here up. I was out of school for a month with a cast from here to here with just 2 holes. I had to drink through a straw for a month. You could see through my eyelids. I had no hair, no eyebrows. They didn't know what was going to happen or what was going to be left of me at the end. Every day, I had to go to the burn unit and have the scabs scraped off of me with cotton balls. I don't know if you can fathom what that would be for it to be your entire face and head, really, every day. As a matter of fact, I have a little scar right there, which is a scab they missed one day. What made that even crazier is that I was home alone. So I had to ride my bike to the doctor with this cast on to get that done sometimes. It's tough. It's very tough. But I didn't let it stop me. What was that? Okay. I found a way to overcome that challenge in life. I moved away from my mom. I moved to my father's house, where he taught me some very valuable life lessons that I wanted to share with you today. First, it's important to understand how money works and how financial freedom works, and it doesn't come like most people think it comes. Most financial freedom does not come through an exit of your business. It also doesn't come from being too conservative with the money that you do have. You have to make investments in yourself and your future, because revenue matters, income matters, whether it's a person or a business, it doesn't matter. So you have to invest the money you have. A lot of us waste a lot of money, if we're honest with ourselves. We kind of don't understand always the difference between an expense and an investment, whether it's talking about your personal life or your business life. In my personal life, I understood the importance of investment, so I got an MBA, undergrad degree from the University of Florida, which is not the university that just got bocked out of the NCAA championships, by the way. All the FSU fans are groaning. I also learned to listen to people, wise people, smarter than me, more successful than me. What made them different, right? Because I knew I didn't have all the answers. I was a kid. I needed to make some wise decisions for myself, so I listened and learned and studied people. I also understood that being in denial was not a place to be, that it's really important for you to take control of your destiny, to start making wise decisions with your time and your money, wise decisions for yourself and for your family, wise decisions that are going to result in tomorrow being better than today, that next year being better than today, and to have the retirement that every single person in this room deserves. You are in control of every choice you make. Whether you're buying $10,000 worth of laptops for your team because their old ones are a little bit slower than you'd like them to be, or if you're spending $10,000 to invest in your business by being here, you should be proud of that. This is a wise decision where you're learning how to make better decisions, especially on the area of your business that so many MSPs struggle. You're in control of your destiny because you're in control of the choices that you make. If I can overcome the trials I had in my life, you can too. I don't see any burn victims in here. People ask how I could take care of my second grade sister when I'm in fourth grade, including, by the way, clothes, cooking, right? I had to take care of literally my life. I show up with a latchkey with there's a shoestring around my neck with a key on it. Then I'd get prepared for my sister to come in and we'd make dinner. I'd help her because my mom had to work long hours because she made bad decisions, I guess, in her life. I overcame those objections. I overcame those challenges, and you can too. You can do absolutely anything that you want. You can achieve anything that you want to achieve. All it does is require one thing, which is for you to make wiser decisions in your life. Make investments when you should make investments and stop being afraid to do that. For some reason in this industry, we have no fear when it comes to spending money. None. Unless it's something that we're not confident about. Like sales and marketing, for example. We're quick to buy a tool. We're quick to hire a tech. We're quick to give a raise. Heck, a lot of people in this room have literally give the shirt off their back to help one of their employees or their clients. And some literally do. They'll steal from their kids, their employees, to give to the customers. We're going to talk a lot about that in the coming days. Our goal with Growcon is for you to leave a better person and a better professional. For you to leave equipped in knowing what it takes to run a strong business so that you can make the decisions for yourself, because your tomorrow will be dependent on the decisions that you make today. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm just a redneck, grew up on a horse farm. When I moved to my dad's, I moved from Tampa, the city, to the country, where my town had 5,000 people in it, most of which were in public service as police or firemen or government. Didn't come from money. Everything I have, I pretty much earned myself. I think my lifelong gift from my family was about 10 grand. I heard Donald Trump got $1 million to get started. I didn't quite have that. But I made wise decisions, and I want you to as well. So that's why we're here. That's why I did this. That's why Andrew and I work our tails off to produce things like Growcon and start companies like Marketopia. It's to help people just like you achieve the dreams that you deserve to achieve. I'm going to tell you a couple stories of people that did take a chance and invest themselves. 2016, someone came to us, a firm out of the Northwest, that had been systematically struggling to grow their business. It's 2023. The only difference between those two things is a dash on the screen. But that dash represents decisions that were made. They partnered with Marketopia on digital marketing, tele-lead gen, and pay-per-click. They took the training and literally studied it like it was for their future, like they needed to make changes in their life and their business, and they chose to do that with Marketopia. We gave them a new website, and they instantly saw a giant surge in appointments. In fact, they've pentupled their money monthly. They've increased the valuation of their business 5-fold. In fact, they've added over $700,000 in firm value every single year they were a partner. They didn't have a super short-term perspective. They know success takes time. One of the things that's so ironic about this business is that we'll toil in the fields for a decade, not achieving much of anything with respect to income or growth for our business. We get to 750, maybe $1 million and stop, and then we start making investments and expect that return to be instantaneous. This person had patience, 7 years, adding $700,000 in firm value every single year. Do that math. They've achieved something extraordinary. They've changed their lives, their children's lives, and probably their children's children's lives. You can too. 2020 to 2023. Company came to us, relied on word of mouth for every single lead they had. They were willing to grow, they were ready to grow, they wanted to grow, and most importantly, they were willing to take chances to grow. Invest in themselves, invest what it takes to achieve their goals. They went forward with marketing and tele-lead gen. And again, they went all in with training. You see, one of the dark secrets, two dark secrets in our part of the MSP channel, two of them. One, marketing doesn't have to produce anything. In fact, most people produce 0 appointments. We deal with it every single day where someone's spending $5,000 and haven't gotten a single lead all year. They've saved money because Marketopia might have been more expensive, but what exactly did they get? They flushed 5,000 times 12 or 60 grand down the toilet with no hope of a return. Now, this person's firm, by the way, these people are all in this room, is 5 times the size it was when they started, and they've increased their valuation of about $1.5 million per year. 3 years, just getting started, right? You add $1.5 million a year, and all of a sudden it really adds up quickly. You see, perspective matters. If you're looking for an instantaneous response, you're in the wrong business. MSPs don't work like that. No contract is monthly in our business if you're smart. It takes years, and we're so good at retaining clients, so we have to keep that long-term perspective in mind. Another story of success, 2019 to 2023, full 4 years. This company lost a massive client, came to us at a time of desperation, facing bankruptcy or at least insolvency. They came to us for help. They went all in on marketing and tele-lead gen. They kind of put all their chips on the table. They added revenue, and most importantly, optimized expenses. They added between $1,000 and $12,000 a month in RMR since joining 4 years ago. They went from losing about $400,000 a year to the point now where they're in the process of potentially selling their business for $4 million or so. That's pretty impressive for a company that we probably could have bought for $1 in that initial meeting. In fact, I would estimate the increase in valuation of about $1.1 million a year. So these are stories of courage, these are stories of results, but most importantly, these are stories of people doing what it takes to achieve their dreams, taking chances, making investments, betting on themselves, doing what it takes. Stop falling for all the lines in this industry that keep people from doing it because they focus only on the cost and not on the return, on the investment, not just the return on that investment. I'll tell you a story about Joe. Joe represents the average MSP that we talk to. I'm going to talk to you about this because while those stories may not resonate with you, perhaps this is. Maybe you're Joe. Everybody's Joe. Joe represents where you are. A lot of people have big dreams, and the dream that Joe has is to sell his business for about $7.5 million. He's coming to a business now that's worth about $1 million. It has $1 million in revenue, but doesn't make any profit. And most importantly, it's not really sellable because it doesn't have a functional marketing and lead gen program that works without the business owner. If you're focused on word of mouth leads, when you leave, those leads stop. Everybody who buys your business is going to know that. You have to have a balanced business, a real business that runs without you. We're going to walk you through this step, these 6 steps. Now, some of you have already done this with Jeff, but I'm hoping to add perspective, the Marketopia team, not just Jeff, and really kind of walk you through kind of what that takes. So at the end of the day, Joe has a dream, which is to sell his business for $7.5 million, which is about $6.5 million more than it is today. So basically, Joe needs to increase his revenue at about $650,000 per year to achieve his goals. In fact, as soon as he does that, those goals become expectations because you're methodically doing what it takes to achieve them. So how do you get these numbers? We have an MSP value of $7.5 million, currently valuing at about $1 million. Now again, he couldn't sell this business, he or she couldn't sell this business for $1 million, but we're going to start with that as a starting point because we're going to create a real business that you can sell through the process. So at 6.5 million, he has to increase revenue. He wants to do it in 10 years, which means he needs to get $650,000 per year. So let's talk about clients. What does that mean? If your average annual recurring revenue is of $20,000, which is what Joe's is, he has 50 clients that each give him $1,500, $1,700 a month, something like that. He needs to make $650,000 more in annual recurring revenue, and he makes $20,000 per client, which means he needs 32.5 clients per year to achieve his goals. So as soon as he gets 33, because there's not a half a client, he's on track to achieve his dream. So what does that mean? And this is where we start to drop the emotion and the baggage that came in here with and start getting factual. If I need 33 clients a year, my close ratio is 20%, means I need 165 leads per year. Now that number may seem daunting to people who are in here, right? There are a lot of firms out there that average 0 new appointments a month. A lot of service providers in our industry, snake oil salesmen, that will get you to save money by producing no result. Right? Hey, instead of $5,000 a month, I can do it for $2,000 a month or even free. Well, there's a huge cost to that, right? So if I need 165 leads a month, that means I need 13.75, or we're going to round to 14 leads per month to achieve his dreams. So why doesn't every MSP do that math and get every single lead they need to achieve their goals? What's the reason? Head trash. All it is just people not being emotional about things they don't know about. Everyone in here is smart enough. You're a lot smarter than me. You can make these calculations on your own. If a lead is worth more than it costs to get it, you should get it, right? Logically. So let's figure out what a lead is worth to Joe. Runs through this process. If he's making 10% profit, that's his owner's income plus profit for the firm, that's $2,000 annually. So how do we do that? Well, first is to understand that for every lead you're given, you get customers from those leads, and each of the customers generates $2,000 in profit per year, right? Non-emotion. So what do you do with that? If we keep a client for 10 years, and this is where the math starts to happen, a lot of amateur hour business owners want to look at annual value or contract term, but those are irrelevant in our industry, and that exact concept is what's keeping people from doing what it takes. We keep clients for years because most of us are very good at customer service. There are some exceptions, but for most of us, you can count on keeping a customer anywhere from usually 7, 10 years. Some people will say 20, okay? I'm gonna go with 10, the average Joe of 10. So that means that over the lifetime profit of those 10, of that client, we're gonna make 20 grand profit. I kept that client for 10 years, they're giving me $2,000 a year. So what is a lead worth? I simply take that by my close ratio, multiply that by the close ratio to get the value of a lead. In this example, and this is a normal, average, everyday Joe, every lead is worth $4,000. Taking emotion out, it's worth $4,000. So what does that mean? That every time someone gives them a lead, even though their head will teach them something different, well, it depends, oh, it depends how I can close it, depends this, depends that, stop. Just deal with the averages. Your mind will absorb averages a lot more than exceptions, right? We're not talking about the unicorn on the top end or the trash client that we all have at the bottom. On average, the lead is worth $4,000. So a lead is costly, right? It's not cheap, which is one of the problems in our space. The leads are very valuable, but they're not easy to get, right? Marketubi has 100 people chugging to give leads to our clients every single day. A lot of them are in this room or outside or back at the office. They work hard. It's not easy, and not one person at Marketubi will tell you that it gets easy to get a lead. It's easy to get a lead in the form of a customer because all you have to do is sign a piece of paper, but getting a lead in terms of effort is very difficult. But this math right here, if it costs $1,500 to get a lead and a lead's worth $4,000, that means every time you get a lead, someone is literally giving you $2,500 in profit. Once you take out that head trash, that's a fact. So how does that add up over time? If we needed 14 leads for Joe to achieve his goals, and he makes $2,500 in profit per client, that means that though it does not feel like it at the time of signature, what's actually happening is that every lead we get, we're putting $35,000 in profit. So you start saying to yourself, well, wait a minute, if I spend $15,000 a month on leads, I'm really making $35,000, but it doesn't feel like that because that $35,000 is spread over years, right? That's the problem in our space, is we're not thinking like that. That's how companies explode in terms of size, because they're starting to make more and more money in future months. You've got to be able to invest in the short term to reap the reward long term. So if you do that for 12 months a year, that means you're actually adding $420,000 in profit per year. I don't know about you, but I think you did a random sample of MSPs around the United States, the lion's share would not make $420,000 in profit per year. Probably like 99%. But that's not where it ends, right? The reality is times happen. We're going to sell in 10 years. So we're going to add $4.2 million in profit in the time that we're selling or running the business. And we're going to sell the business for $7.5 million. Remember, that was the goal. And once we hit these milestones, we started doing what it takes every step of the way, we all of a sudden realized that over the next 10 years, we're going to put $11.7 million in our pocket. It's just math. It's just multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. No head trash, no emotion, just math. Simple math. My goal for everyone in this room is that for that to be the bare minimum that they're willing to accept. I want to put $11.7 million in my bank account. Minus taxes, it's going to put me in the 7,000-ish, depending on what state you live in. 7,000, 8,000 maybe. I'm sorry, 7, 8 million. That's going to provide a pretty good retirement for us. That's going to become the kind of nest egg for our kids that will change the lives of their kids and their kids. We'll invest in education, businesses starting, lots of things. By doing what it takes, Joe is adding $420,000 in profit per year. It's a simple fact. So ask yourself, what would you do with $11.7 million? You want a villa in Tuscany? You want a yacht? These are options for you, and you're starting to see more and more MSPs selling right now, right? There are people starting to realize that. The problem is they're also realizing the sins of their the cost of their sins over time. They weren't making their investments, they aren't growing, so therefore they have a $2 million MSP right now instead of a $10 million MSP, right? The best time to make an investment was yesterday, not tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow, you don't know when it's going to come. You don't know when that day is going to be for you, or it's your last day. I'm often reminded of a company who's kind of connected with us and has heard me speak 50 times probably, and he kept procrastinating, and we find procrastination is the #1 competitive force that we go up against every day. It's just the force of procrastination. And then he had a heart attack, spent a month in the hospital, came out, and there was nothing left of his business at all. His employees had all gone off because he was in the hospital for a month, and they took the customers with them, and of course he had no legal agreements preventing that. So I want you to think about what that looks like for you. What does $11.7 million mean to you? Every decision that you make, today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and every day for the rest of your life will determine what the day after it will look like. And they compound over time. So make wise decisions. Do what it takes. Commit to yourself today to start doing what it takes to achieve your dreams so that they become expectations for you, your family, and every employee that depends on you for their well-being. Thank you very much. All right. We have an amazing team at Marketopia, and I'm excited to share with you two people Kirk runs the digital marketing for Marketopia. So every client that has digital marketing, website development, SEO, SEM, pay-per-click, email marketing, all reports in to Kirk. And we also have the Telecampaign Success Manager, Scott Sullivan, which owns the call center team worldwide. Kirk, Scott, come on up.
Hello, God. They told me to eat the mic, so I'm going to eat the mic. My name is Kirk Alquist. We also have a third unseen guest that we want to introduce, so if we can have that video, please.
Meet the Growth Machine, your answer to lead generation and revenue growth. Created exclusively for managed service providers and technology companies. The Growth Machine gives you access to the most powerful marketing and sales automation platform in the technology channel, complemented by Marketopia's seasoned tech experts and marketing pros. Launch proven technology campaigns in minutes from our vast library of over 200 turnkey marketing playbooks, allowing you to nurture prospects and so they become hot leads for your sales team. Never be in the dark again. We'll have clear visibility into opportunities, pipeline, and conversion rates with our intuitive dashboard, helping you maximize revenue. The Growth Machine offers flexible plans tailored to your growth goals and fit any budget. Whether you prefer a hands-on approach or want us to take the lead, we've got the right solution for you. The Growth Machine. The path to more leads, more sales, and more profit. Sign up today.
All right, how many of you guys are familiar with the Growth Machine? A couple? All right, that's pretty good. For those of you who are not, Growth Machine is an incredible CRM aimed specifically to marketing automation for MSPs. There's nothing else on the market that does that specifically. Seamlessly connects whether it's your CRM, your Salesforce automation, or your PSAs. There's a robust set of features, most of which even our current clients haven't seen yet. We're rolling out feature after feature all the time. We'll talk about a few of those. Our clients and your clients, that's the key to Growth Machine. It's not our clients, and your clients have access to hundreds of campaigns that are pre-done. You basically need to just hook them into your contact leads and they go out. There's 100% free. They offer a lot of different benefits. We have SMS campaigns, email campaigns, there's text campaigns, just like this guy right here. Not only are they great for generating leads and keeping your marketing warm, but they also help you establish authority in the market. Because when people are you know, the sales funnel, people aren't saying, oh, look, I saw an ad. I'm going to buy from her today. It's not how it works. They have to research you, look into you, find out, you know, other connections you have. All of that whole suite of marketing is what, a lot of which comes in the growth machine. Not all of it, but a lot of it. In addition, the growth machine it's a heavy piece of equipment. It's the best way to say that, in a really good way. But whether you choose to do the done with you or the done for you, you're still going to get Marketopia associates working with you. In addition to your sales coach, you're also going to get a DCSM, which I'll chat about in a second. We also offer semi-monthly growth machine training for prospects. We're also going to have, we also do have a comprehensive set of training videos, educational seminars, and my personal favorite is download sheets. How do I do this one thing? Bam, 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 cool, got it. And then I'm good to go. In addition, I'll talk about our DCSMs. Those of you who are clients here today, hopefully you're going to speak with your DCSMs in addition to your sales folks. They're going to help you with not only talking about, hey, what's going to be working for your company, let's do this campaign in this quarter and this campaign in the next quarter. They're also going to help you execute your SEO strategies, your social, and your pay-per-click. They're also going to be doing all of the deploying, analyzing, and then talking to you about the performance, what's working, what's not working, what adjustments should we make. You know what, let's decrease the budget here and increase it over here. That's the kind of stuff you're going to get from your DCSMs on a monthly basis. In addition to that, there's a whole number of other services that we've been rolling out this last few months, specifically our local SEO marketing. If you guys know, right now, Google knows exactly where you are. Google always knows where you are. There's lots of different ways you can do SEO. Technical SEO, most folks are doing that. The local SEO, you're going to see a lot of agencies are doing that. Why? Because it works. Google knows where you're at, and they want to serve you the search result page based on that location. So if you guys are doing some local SEO pages in your areas, the people in your areas that you want to be your clients are the ones that are going to see your stuff. So increased traffic, higher specific conversion. You're not going to get a guy in Utah while you're in North Carolina. That's not going to work. A lot of agencies will get you that, though. In addition, we have quarterly business reviews that we'll sit down with our clients and we go over, hey, what are we doing next quarter? What happened last quarter? What are our lessons learned? And, you know, what's our strategy moving forward? So you don't need to sit there and just throw your marketing out to somebody and just expect it all. We're working with you back and forth. Lastly, we also have a couple other, there's a whole bunch of new features. I'm only showing one right now. But in 2024, we'll be launching video marketing. That's where you can put a video in your emails or in your text. That's you and your face talking to your potential clients or your current clients, if that's the way you want to do it. And that integrates directly into the growth machine. It also has all the custom value features, so it can be, hey, Tom, it's good to see you again. How was, whatever the case may be, and that'll pull in your custom values into your video as well as right in through the growth machine. So it's pretty fantastic features coming up. And I think it's Scott's time.
So hey, I'm very glad to be here. I just want to start it like this, seeing some of our clients in here, Jeff, John, Ron, love seeing all you guys. Great to see so many MSPs in here. And really this is about growth and what we're doing to try to help you guys get that. One of the things is robust lead generation capabilities. So with Growth Machine, we've been able to give clients complete visibility into the sales cycle. So going from first touch all the way down to a closed deal, you're now able to see all of those things in the system. Clients have a much more hands-on approach. So one of the new things we've been doing is especially with tasks. So clients are able to assign tasks back to their callers, giving it a lot more push to get to the finish line. We've also optimized communication. Like Kirk said, we have phone, we have email, even SMS now. We can send text through the system. So very cool stuff is happening. On to the next thing is Telecampaign Success Manager, or TCSM. So this is something we've implemented really honestly to help improve the management with clients. So this gives us a much more in-depth or closer touch to the client. We're able to be there to support them better. It also is an extension to where we're able to support our team leads better. So we're able to do internal coaching, providing support to reps. All of the telecampaign success managers come from the caller's role. So they know what they experience and they know how to help them improve and get the results you guys are all looking for. Also, it's improved just communication in general. From DCSM to SC to TCSM, that communication is much more robust now, allowing us to get things done that you guys want to get done. Another great addition is the pack, so cost per lead model. We do offer this now. We have 2 packs, 5 packs, 10 packs, 20 packs. This is really just a guarantee on the appointments you're going to get. So we're offering a guarantee held meetings per month depending on the amount you choose. So if you choose 5 per month, we're going to do what it takes to get you those 5 leads per month and make sure they take place. Gives you guys a lot more certainty along with the benefit of just paying per appointment, which in the end means more leads, more sales, and more profit. Thank you, guys. Back to
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Chief Executive Officer, Marketopia, Terry Hedden.
You don't need that. You need that.
Those are 2 of our best. Kirk is pretty new with Marketopia, but he was just a breath of fresh air coming in the organization, taking a fresh look at all of our digital marketing campaigns. Really impressed with what he and Scott have both done, and way more planned. I mean, what they've got going on right now in terms of their pipeline for innovation for the coming year is amazing. For those of you who don't know, Scott came to us a long time ago. He worked his way through the organization and now runs the call center worldwide. And he should be really proud of himself. I certainly am proud of him. And those 2 are working hard. Those are the lead generation functions of Marketopia. Everybody else is supporting them in effect. And I'm proud of them and everything that they're doing. Now I have the privilege of welcoming one of the most talented people I've ever worked with, actually. James Salome is the creative director for Marketopia. He's the one responsible for the words and the pictures that come together to form the campaigns that the digital team sends out, the tele-team calls out on. He is an amazing person, professional guy, and he's got skills that are way beyond things that I can understand. He's done things like create these logos and the imagery that you see around Growcon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome James Salome.
Wow. What an intro. Thank you, Terry. Much appreciated. All right. How's everyone doing? All right. You guys are feeling the love here at Growcon? All right. There's more to come. There's more to come. We're just getting started, guys. All right. So we're going to talk about maximizing revenue by turning strangers into engaged, qualified prospects, all the way from initial contact, sale, and beyond. Right? This presentation really has to do with weighing opportunities and how much time and how much effort we give to the leads that come our way. Just like with every decision in life, right? Do I order pizza or do I grill that chicken, right? There's the pros and the cons, and do I buy that car or do I hold off? Do I like that? Do I want to put my money somewhere else rather than a car payment? Do I go to the movies or stay in, right? Simple decisions sometimes, but they will take up effort. It will take up your time. And so the same happens with leads, right? Not every single lead that comes our way, we're going to want to spend, our team's time on, or at least not the right kind of team members, right? There's echelons of people that we can assign leads to. So we're going to get into that. How do we define a lead? How do we get into weighing those opportunities? Some best practices. I'm right-handed, so I don't know what I was doing with this one. So what exactly is a lead, right? A lead can mean so many things to so many people. I know list brokers who think that just because they have a a contact name on a spreadsheet, that's a lead. Yeah, I've had that happen. Someone who fits your customer profile, and you should have one. We're going to get into that here in a little bit. That's a lead. Someone who goes to your website or maybe clicks on an email, that could be a lead. It just depends on who you speak to and whether or not it's right. That's up for debate. If you ask a salesperson, sometimes they will tell you that the only leads that they care for about them being leads are the ones that close. It's just the world that they live in. And, marketing should always strive to give them quality leads, always, right? So there's two methods, if you will, two ways, two tenets that we at Marketopia we utilize in order to define or weigh the importance of our leads. One of them is the BANT scoring system. Might have heard about this before. We're talking about budget, authority, needs, and timelines, right? Before we should engage with any particular lead, we should drill into these questions. Is there a budget set? Is it part of their fiscal year? This is the first time they're looking into this, a solution or a service like you guys provide. Or are they just kicking tires, right? Is there something that maybe their boss told them to go look into, whatever that, whether it's cybersecurity or a new network or, a new VoIP system. So is that in place, right? That gives you a little certainty if they actually put away some cash, put away some reserves as far as that goes. The next one is, do they have the authority, right? Are you speaking to, an associate further down the echelon in the organization, or are you speaking to a manager, right, who has a little bit more authority, or a director or VP? If you're talking to C-level people, that's a hot lead, people. Let's get a sales guy in there, right? We want to rope them in and have a serious conversation. But it just depends on, and also, when you're qualifying the leads that come through your pipeline, you want to understand a lot of the things that on the other end of that organization, right? Who makes the decisions? How are those decisions made? Is it a decision by committee? How long does it typically take? What can I provide you with in order for your organization to think that this is a valuable proposition, right? The service that they're inquiring about or their product. Savvy salespeople, marketing people will dig for these opportunities, right, to fill the voids, fill the gaps, fill the value gaps that might be needed in order to turn considerations, right? The need. Why are they after this? What's driving the inquiry? Do they currently have a system in place? Is this the first time they're looking into this? Are they looking at other competitors? Have they spoken to their IT department, their internal IT department? That's a good one, right? Sometimes you might go in a wild goose chase and it might seem like a hot lead, but they really haven't, passed it by their internal people. So, that could be a challenge later down the line if this, if your solution or your implementation goes sort of unchecked internally. You want to make sure that that those rocks have been kind of uncovered. And then timeline. They tell you they have a timeline and it's set that thing is not moving. That's a hot lead. That's warm, at least. You should take some interest in that. If they're just kind of loosey-goosey and it's just like, hey, whenever, you might want to do some digging there and seeing how serious they are. For example, I'll give an example. If we needed to rent this equipment here, this deadline was not moving. Growcon was not going anywhere, right? December 4th was it. And decisions needed to be made, and we certainly had to do them, and we certainly had to, spoke to vendors and whatnot, and they talked to us and back and forth, but we were serious. This was happening. You have a timeline, you are certain to, the value of the lead, the worth of the lead, of the opportunity goes up. Another thing that, that before you even start marketing to your clientele is understanding who your customer is. Seems simple enough, right? But sometimes we might want to bite off more than we can chew or offer things that we might not be experts on. Perhaps the client is maybe too far out our geographical region that we feel comfortable taking on, but because some of us are, want the business, we might want to stretch ourselves a little bit, but is that really worth it in the long run? What is their revenue? How many employees do they have? Right? All of these things make up the construct of what that customer of yours is, right? Of the people that you should be marketing to and hitting up day after day after day. Beyond that, it's sort of like a shotgun approach, or you're just, putting money where it should not be placed. So, defining your customer profile, very important. Let's talk about the two types of leads, guys. MQLs and SQLs. Marketing qualified leads, the first one here. These are the leads at the top of the funnel. You're looking at someone who maybe has clicked on an email, gone to your website, maybe downloaded something, but they haven't really expressed intent in purchase. Right? There's different degrees of opportunity within the MQL spectrum. There are. But they really haven't reached out and said, call me, schedule a demo, let's do this. Let's set some time aside, I want to understand your product better. What is the price? We're not quite there yet, not with MQLs. So you might not want to put your best people on the MQL team, right, on the MQL leads. You might not want to put your hotshot salesperson on there. You might want to have a BDR or perhaps an associate trying to qualify these leads based on what we just talked about, the band system. Now the SQLs, farther down the funnel, right? These guys have expressed intent. They have expressed an interest in going farther with you to find out more about your product. Let's go forward. Let's talk about the MQL continuum and the degrees of the strength of these leads here. So we've got 0 through Z, 3, Z. The zeros is basically, what we're looking at here is just someone who fits your customer profile. That's it, right? It could just be someone who you could potentially market to, but they haven't necessarily reached out or anything like that. Level 1, maybe they went to your website and clicked on an email, perhaps, we were talking about. Perhaps they liked a social post, right? There's some interest there. You can certainly market to those people, but we wouldn't go putting all of our efforts and money and time into those kinds of leads. It's just not quite there yet. Not your best people anyhow. It's time and effort, resources. Level 2, we're looking at candidates lead candidates, or client candidates rather, who have downloaded an infographic or downloaded an e-guide, who have at least given us their information, right? Give us a little bit of, they're giving themselves to us to some degree. Then you know that the interest has risen. And we keep going down. Level 3s, they get a little bit more serious. They're inching towards becoming an SQL. They could be on the verge of requesting a meeting, if not actually asking for a meeting, right? They do that. We know they're actively pursuing your products and or your services, right? The first two, level 0 and level 1, they're just kind of passively interested. They're not really quite sure of who you are. They're just kind of getting acquainted with you. They're kind of, more in the awareness stage of the funnel, way up here. But the last two, these guys, they're interested in you. Now, what can we do, right? calling, Scott would tell you, heck yes, the power the power of a call to kind of organically push some of these leads along it's immense. You know, having a caller on your side, having someone who can continuously push and prod and further qualify strengthens or devalues the worth of a lead. You know, you can push some leads aside, or you can really bring him over to the side where you're actually engaging with him from a sales perspective. You're 10 times more likely to get a conversion when you have a caller than by just kind of passively letting leads come to you, right? This is actively pursuing all of your leads, whether it's a 0 to a 3 to even in the SQL continuum. It just works. It's a proven endeavor. You know, we at Marketopia do this left, right, and center because it works. I think a lot of you out here could tell us that it does. It's just Scott. He was a tight ship, and we have some of his associates here. And I got to tell you, I hear him all day long, and it's just conversion after conversion after conversion. They ring a bell, ding, 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 ding. We hear it all day long. So, getting callers behind, your leads, really it's the force multiplier for those that are really interested, and also kind of like a bowling ball for those who are not. Just kind of gets them out of the way, and where to place your efforts. So let's not forget about those guys. All right, SQL Continuum. Active leads are managed by business development reps, then passed to the salesperson, right? We don't want to have our A team spending time on leads that might not be worth their time. So, an SQL basically, as we were talking about earlier, is someone who has expressed intent in purchasing. Level 1. This has been a meeting confirmed. All of these have confirmed a meeting, by the way, SQLs. But it's the degree of certainty of them kind of checking the boxes on that customer profile. What is that exactly, right? So there haven't been SQL double zeros. They have been qualified, but they're not necessarily wanting to meet. But they check all the boxes, right? So we get a BDR on those guys. Or a caller to really understand what those, getting that appointment. Level 1s, you get a little bit more qualification. Maybe you know how big their company is. Perhaps you know that the person who has scheduled the meeting is a C-level executive. I mean, that's good, but you don't know the rest of it, right? You may not know the need, exactly what that is. And the degree of certainty of checking what that customer profile is, what that need is, what the timeline, what that budget is, increases as the levels kind of go up. The more information that you have, the stronger that lead is, right? So they go up in levels as far as SQLs are concerned. Once you get to level 4, you have either lost, the opportunity, or you won it. They've converted. But again, the more and more and more that you know about their, these customers, as to how they make up their customer profile, the more likely you are to, again, we have to do our homework here, right? We have to prove our value, right? We have to give them reasons to know that we've got the right solutions for them, whatever that might be, whether it's a report or a collateral, that speaks about your company, or testimonials, right? The more that you fill those value needs, those value gaps, the closer and closer and closer you can get to that sale. Let's talk about marketing and sales working together. Surely it's marketing's job to understand your customers, to understand that customer profile, but sometimes that can be tough. Sometimes it's not as easy as it sounds. Focus groups are expensive, and depending on the geography of your customer makeup, that could be all over the country. How do you get them all together? Surely you can do it online, but that's a little impersonal. You have to chase after them to, I mean, it's just like getting people in a conference. There's work behind it, right? Focus groups. Surveys, I don't know about you guys, but, I don't I get plenty of surveys requests. I'm busy, right? All of us here are busy. So it's tough to get that information, and just by sending out, Survey Monkey inquiries and that kind of thing. I mean, you're going to get some. It depends on obviously, how large the pool that you're sending it to. Your results would correlate to that. But it's just not that easy, right? Conferences and events and things like that. This is a priceless opportunity, I think, for all of us to get to know one another and kind of understand that customer profile, that makeup. But think about it. The sales team, they're basically, it's the closest thing that you have got to your customers, right? So marketing should listen loudly. Should pay attention to what sales is telling them as far as like what is working, what kind of campaigns, what kind of positioning is are your efforts paying off on? What are the customers saying the most? It should be a marriage. It should be a marriage. It's kind of like a family. There should be regular cadence meetings as to opportunities or endeavors that marketing should be looking into. Why? Because they've heard it from the customer, because they've experienced it firsthand. There's just so much invaluable information. I mean, sales can't do it alone. Marketing can't do it alone. And if neither of them survive, then that whole organization is out the window, right? So it really should be a tight-knit endeavor, family, in order to really sort of strengthen the quality, the caliber of the leads that we push through to sales, right? It certainly is. Sales wants quantity, but they also want quality. Who cares if you get 100 leads, 1,000, 10,000, whatever it is, but there just aren't, they're at the level 1 MQLs. It's just not worth too much time investing. So they're allies in the fight, guys. Sales is our friend, right? We should work together. Here's one thing. We talked about, getting to the end of the SQL continuum, and then you get the sale at the end, right? But one catastrophic mistake that some of us make is that we stop being in sales mode after the sale is done. We get into customer service mode. We, preach that, once you make that sale, surely there's customer service to be done. Of course there's a customer experience to fulfill, but you should ABC, always be closing, right? Always be selling. We all know that, it's a lot easier to sell someone who has purchased from you before than someone who, an average Joe off the street. They don't know you from Adam, right? The people you've sold to, they've trusted you to some degree or another, right? They have given you their money. They're giving you part of their business. They've let you in their home, in their living room. So they're highly likely to want to convert, to take on your recommendations. If you've done your job right? If you provided value to them along the sales funnel. But again, it doesn't stop there. We got to keep that relationship going. We got to keep building it. It's a win-win, really. They get you as a trusted advisor, bringing value in droves by your expertise, by your recommendations, and it's a lot easier for all of us to be able to service them as opposed to taking on a new client, because that relationship is built already, right? Those pathways have been created. So remember to always, in order to keep that, right, we're talking about MQLs to SQLs, You want to keep that train moving, that momentum going by continuing the sales experience throughout the cycle. And it's not just to be greedy, absolutely not. But this is business at the end of the day, and we're here to provide value, right? And to provide value in droves. Which leads me to my next point. Account Management 101. How do you justify your value? How do you do that? Here's some recommendations, some best practices. Be proactive. What do we mean by that? Well, there's many different ways, but let's just say, for example, if you were in the hardware business, you want to have some kind of a refresh system, right? We all know that equipment breaks at some point or another, but you want to catch it before it breaks, right? So that it doesn't give headaches to, it's going to bring business to you. Of course, you guys are going to have to fix it, but who wants to be in emergency mode and get that call at 2 a.m. in the morning when a server goes down? So being proactive about staying on top of whether it's hardware, software patches, the latest technologies, and always continuing, right? You're justifying your value by recommending initiatives that are going to help their business at the end of the day, right? How about the next one? Managing all of your clients' contracts. You want to be that person that your go-to, guru, right? You don't want someone else to come into your house and service them for things that you could be doing. Right. You may not be the expert, but you can partner with others. Or you can, if the opportunity is big enough, you can bring someone on in order to take on the contracts, whether it's VoIP, network, telecom, servers, clients, whatever the case might be, mobility. You want to be able to own that at all levels, again, to be that trusted advisor. Why? Because that will keep on paying off and paying off and paying off as that relationship builds throughout the years. As Terry was saying, clients stay, right? A lot of us keep clients for many, many years. But nothing stays the same. Nothing. Life is a constant. And we've got to keep on reinventing ourselves and reinventing value by, for example, meeting regularly, right? Bringing them reports. Maybe, just thinking, it could be, hey, your business, try to get hacked X number of times within the last quarter. And because of the firewalls, the implementations that we put in, none of this happened. But here's the proof. It did. It could have value, right? Meeting regularly. Getting to know them, really, at the end of the day, this is the way I see it, it's a community at the end of the day, right? And you should have that communal relationship with your clients. Anyhow, looking for opportunities, here's another one. And this goes along, again, with getting to know your clients. The more you know them, the more that, maybe they're, buying into a different kind of business. Perhaps they're, maybe they're accounting now, and for whatever reason, they might want to take on, the guy, maybe he wants to expand and he wants to create, he wants to own a few franchises of restaurants, for whatever reason, right? But unless, if you're not in constant communication, if you're not regularly meeting with them, there's no way you would know about those opportunities, right? So build those relationships so that one lead keeps on paying off and paying off and paying off. And again, we're after the sale now, guys, right? So maximizing revenue through your leads. Next. All right. Exceptional value equals raving fans. What do we mean by this? So the funnel that you guys see here on the left, this is a regular, or typical, I should say, acquisition funnel, right? We've got the awareness stage, engagement, conversion, pipelines, and a lot of pipes. I've seen many different ways in which this is called, but we know that the awareness and engagement, those are the times in which it's getting to know you and understanding what it is that you offer. Once you get into the conversion and the pipeline stages, You get into more demos, perhaps, visits into the office, pricing proposals, right? This is prior to the sale, right? Boom, we either get the sale or we don't. Then we've got the retention journey, right? That one lead that came in at that awareness stage keeps rolling in, keeps that RMR coming, right? By being adopted, whatever, if it's a new network, you implement it, and you implement it well, guys, right? That customer experience is really what is going to determine whether or not to stay with you or not. NPS, Net Promoter Score, 10, that's the highest it could be. That's a metric for how satisfied they are with you as a provider. And we go on to an advocate, right? You got your renewals, expansion, right? More offerings that you could give them, upselling, cross-selling. They're going to be with you for a while, but this time you have sold them on you being the trusted advisor. And the referrals come in droves. Why? Because they trust you. Because they really believe that you have been with them throughout, the journey that you guys have been on, and you've done right by them, right? Customer experience. So that lead keeps paying off not only because of them, but because of the people that they're likely to bring on because they just absolutely cannot stop raving about you. So let's keep that in mind, right? A lead doesn't just stop. A sale doesn't just stop at the sale. A lead doesn't just stop when they convert, but it keeps on paying off and paying off and paying off in dividends after and then with others once the sale has been done and beyond. That's my time. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Chief Executive Officer, Marketopia, Terry Hedden.
That presentation is all around, the customer journey and getting from where you have strangers out there in your community, strangers in markets that you haven't even sought, to customers that you close. But we are really going to hammer what happens after that over the next couple of days and really throughout 2024. How can we cross-sell and upsell our customers into producing more, digging our hooks in so it's harder for them to leave, capturing margin from existing customers because your general cost of relationship is going to be the same whether you sell them a phone system or not. So we're really excited about that part of the business, sort of the right side of the bow tie. You're going to see us do a lot this year, especially around selling a lot of cybersecurity type solutions and other solutions that are out there on the market. One of the great sources of technologies out there right now by far is Kaseya, and we are really thankful for their partnership through the years for Growcon and at Marketopia. They've got an incredible collection of technologies and do a lot to support their partners. So I would please give a warm round of applause for Michael DePalma, VP of Business Development for Kaseya.
All right, thank you. So I'm Mike DePalma, Vice President of Business Development at Kaseya. I come over from the Datto side, so I've been here for 9 years. And our team has run the Marketing Development Fund program for our company throughout that whole time. And so a lot of the conversations I have, the good thing about my team, we're not in sales, we're not in marketing. The channel enablement team really is about helping our partners grow. Obviously, we're selling through the channel. We tried a lot of different marketing tactics to help drive leads to our partners. Sponsored events, we sponsored women's basketball, we sponsored all these things. But the best bang for our buck, what has caused us to grow the most, is investing in that marketing development program where we're not only providing funds for our partners to go out and do events, but actual resources behind it. We've got a team that'll go out and help present. But beyond that, we're studying every one of these campaigns at a very granular level. We're looking at what kind of topic is working, what time of day, what venue, how are you driving leads to that event, what is the follow-up strategy. We approve around 600 of these campaigns, whether it's a live event, whether it's a Google ad campaign, whether it's an industry event sponsorship, those type of things. We do about 600 of them a year, and we break them all down so that we can tell people the ROI on this generally is higher than that. So when we have this program, it's a very broad program. We allow you to basically submit any kind of request you want. But we're going to walk you through and say, hey, it's not that we're not going to give you money. We just know we have a track record of saying, hey, if you go sponsor a tee box at a charity golf event, that's great, but that's not going to drive any ROI. That's based on not just my gut feeling. It's based on actual results. So the good thing about where we are right now is this is the market to be in. If you were to look at 10 years ago, 15 years ago in the technology space, where was all the big spend? It was at the enterprise level. And that's why you saw all the vendors really focusing on that, because the enterprise space, they understood the need for stuff like security. They understood the need for IT driving their business forward. The SMB market really didn't have the funds or the knowledge for that. Right now, this is the spot that every vendor wants to be in. That's why you see all the big vendors moving down to the SMB space, because IT spend at the SMB level is growing at 4.5 times the rate of GDP. And that happened even throughout the economic downturn that we had during the pandemic, because people are understanding, for my budget for next year, regardless of what the economic environment looks like, IT is a must-have. IT is a must-spend, both on the security side, but also on making that business more efficient. So this is a great spot to be in right now. We just released about a week and a half ago our State of the MSP report, and we talked to MSPs about how happy they are with the industry right now, and the approval rating was unbelievable. 95% of MSPs said this is a great time. Almost the same exact number as it was last year. You go survey any other industry out there, you go talk to 1,500 accountants, you think they're going to have a 95% rating of folks that say this is a good time to be in their industry? Probably not. So there's a huge opportunity here. This number is real. Now, our job as vendors and everybody in this room's job is to make sure that the bulk of that money flows through the channel. They're going to spend the money. It's a matter of whether they're going to try to do that directly, or they're going to do it in a co-managed fashion, or they're going to do it with fully outsourced. And our job is to make them understand that it's a much more efficient process for them to work with a managed service provider to achieve their goals and make sure they're secure, and let them have the time to do what it is that they're doing, servicing their clients, things like that. So understanding this is important, understanding the market, because there will be MSPs that are going to grow at 30, 40, 50% next year, because this number is real. The goal and the reason why you come to an event and the reason why you work with folks like Marketopia is to make sure that you're getting as much of that piece as possible. So there's 3 ways you're going to grow. I mean, if you really want to break it down and simplify it, there's 3 main ways that everybody in this room is going to grow next year. First and foremost, the easy one, obviously adding new clients, right? That's the Shangri-La. It's what everybody wants to do. They want to add new clients, and that's great. There's a tactic to it. I think the last presentation did a really good job in talking about referrals, because within our study, about 67% of new clients were attained through referrals, which is great, but that's not MSPs just sitting back on their laurels waiting for the phone to ring with all these referrals. They've developed a strategy to make sure that their existing clients become champions. He touched on the NPS score, and that's something you really need to focus on. And it's something actually, for as good and as much momentum as we have right now on the channel, the NPS score for managed service providers is extremely low, which is surprising, below telco, below all the rest. So those are net promoter scores, and it flies in the face of the other piece of the survey when we talk to small businesses about their IT provider. The vast majority of them were very happy, very satisfied, but the NPS score was low. Now, why would that be? That net promoter, yeah, they're happy with you, but are they willing to go out and promote you and promote your business and promote your services? Why is it so low? Well, I would say that the biggest reason is that as an industry, MSPs don't tend to share their value with their clients as much as they need to. And so for that client, yeah, I know I cut a check every month to this MSP, and I call them when I need them, but I don't really know exactly what they're doing in the background. I only call them when I need something. And the problem with that is the better you are as a managed service provider, the less they're calling you and the less they realize all the great things. And every single vendor will get up here and talk about quarterly business reviews, and everybody will raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm doing them. But I know the reality is the vast majority of MSPs are not doing quarterly business reviews. And maybe doing them on a quarterly basis is too aggressive. Maybe it needs to be twice a year. Maybe it's annual. Regardless, there's got to be a cadence in which you're showing your clients all of the things that you're doing for them. Because if not, there's going to be a competitor that's going to swoop in. They're going to have this shiny new object. They're going to educate them on AI or ransomware detection and all these things. And you might be doing that for them, but they don't know that. Again, I go to a lot of MDF events. We do hundreds of them every year. So every week I'm out there talking at a Top Golf or talking at a Lunch and Learn, and at every one of them, there's people in that room that are working with another MSP. So the simple question is, why would they be there? Why would they be at an event for another MSP? And I ask them, and typically they'll say, well, my MSP has never done something like this. I don't know if my MSP is aware of these things or are putting in the things that make me protected. And so when you look at how you're going to go to market, I think the marketing campaigns that you don't want to overdo it with all the speeds and feeds and technology, and I know all the great vendors out here, you know, we all have those kind of data sheets. That's not what's moving the needle. What's moving the needle is a relationship, and that starts with the education. So when you're thinking about a marketing campaign, leverage those vendors to give you end-user facing documentation so that when there is a big breach and it's in the news and it's splashed everywhere, you're the point person in that area, whether that small business is working with you right now or not, that they can go to your LinkedIn and find the quick cliff notes about what happened and about ways that you could have been protected. Newsletters that go out, your Facebook page, a community that people are going to. So those marketing campaigns really need to be an educational piece. Now, social media, it's the bane of my existence, but it's a reality, and we all have to deal with it, and we have to be out there. You have to be that thought leader that's out there providing education so that they know where to go. People are looking at it. People will tell me, oh, Facebook ads don't work. Numbers don't bear that out. Facebook ads do work. LinkedIn ads work. Twitter doesn't, and I'll tell you that, but there's a lot of places you can go out there. So social media needs to be part of that holistic kind of go-to-market approach. Again, with that thought leadership aspect. Don't try to show off of how smart you are and all the different things that you're going to do, because people are going to glaze over and it's going to be a different language to them. Show them, here's what happened. You saw the Colonial Pipeline attack. Here's how they were able to do it. Here's who was vulnerable. And the people that weren't vulnerable were doing X, Y, and Z, right? You know, we look at a lot of the trade shows that we're doing. Now, I'm seeing more and more of them, and people ask me about it all the time. And it's a daunting task, excuse me, to go and sponsor a booth somewhere, not having any experience. And people ask me, I can tell you, if it's a generic tech conference, it's going to be a heavy lift. You're going to have a lot of people coming over asking for jobs. There are going to be people over there trying to sell you their products. You know, they're going to come there. It's not necessarily something that is really fit for an MSP. Now, industry-specific trade shows are fantastic. If you're going to say, even if you're not a vendor, even if you are end-user agnostic, you could still go to a manufacturing conference and show that, yeah, I've got a list of manufacturing contracts right now, and I can speak your language, and here's the things you need to do. Now, we could work with you, not just on giving you funds for it, but we as a company do 130 of these these channel events every single year, globally. So I have a whole team that knows the logistics inside and out. So just the execution type piece, we can get you on a phone call with the woman who's been handling all of our stuff for the last 8 years. So leverage that. But also the hosted events are really where we're seeing the highest ROI year after year, and those are the standard typical lunch and learns, but we're actually seeing a shift in that as well. It was always lunch and learns or steak dinners. That's what we did. It was always filling a room. Post-COVID, what we saw was an increase in success with breakfast events or after hours, Top Golf, those type of things. I don't have the reason behind it. I mean, my gut is saying that if you do a lunch and learn, especially if you're in a metropolitan area like New York City, people might have every single intention to come to your lunch and learn. They get to the office, life happens, they're putting out fires, they never are able to make it. So we see about, on average on a lunch and learn, about a 40% drop off between registrations and attendance. So if you get 50 registrants, you're getting about 30 people in the room. Breakfast events, that number's about 85%. Because now those people not only want to come not for the nice fancy steak dinner, they want to come to learn, but they know they're starting their day there. And so now we're encouraging people to do things like that. Some of the success we've seen on these hosted events as well is bringing in other third-party experts. Now, I've probably done a dozen or so events this year with folks from the FBI or Department of Homeland Security. That was all organized by the partners of ours. If you call up your local field office, it's part of their job to do educational seminars every single quarter. They're looking for places to go. And so if you call them up and you give them lead time, they will come out. That's a draw, getting somebody from the FBI. Now, clearly they're not going to endorse anybody here, but they tee it up time after time where those people leave that presentation saying, I can't do this by myself. I need to talk to a managed service provider. So reach out. Could be state agencies. There's a good one in Jersey, NJ Kick. They come out, they'll speak. Leverage those type of things and make them educational. Because when you look at how that funnel is going to be, they're going to come from a lot of different ways. I know it's like a term that nobody wants to hear, but cold calling still works. Sending personalized mailers still works. I tell people, if you've got really, targeted audience, send a handwritten letter. Nobody does it anymore, right? That's part of the funnel. The referral piece is critical, right? Getting those folks to understand what you're doing for them, they will become champions for you. If you've got a client base of 50 people, create a 5-person advisory board. We all have it. Why do vendors have it? One, it's great to get feedback, but also I know that now they feel like they're part of your company. Everybody wants to be on an advisory board. You've got 5 clients that will say yes to a quarterly meeting, even if it's an annual meeting, just to feel good. Hey, I want to make sure, I want to educate you guys on what's going on, what we're doing, thinking about implementing new things. I want us to get your feedback on it. You don't have to ask them to go out and refer you business. They will do it because they'll feel like they're part of your company. So figure out what your referral strategy is going to be and make sure it's part of this funnel because, yeah, referrals are the best way to gain business, but they don't just happen overnight and they don't happen by accident. And then getting in front of as many people. It's a lost art form nowadays to be able to stand around at the lobby bar and have a conversation with people. Go up to the person that's looking at their phone. They're probably looking at their phone not because they don't want to talk to somebody, but because they don't know how to just go up and spark a conversation. Everything's done, especially if they're under 35 right now. It's a lost art form. So go up and talk to people, right? And leverage your vendors. Right? We've got marketing development funds. Every vendor now is starting that program, our direct competitors. And for me, again, not being in sales, I did 2 in the last month where I sat on a panel right next to somebody from ConnectWise. I don't care. I know that if you get a new client and you're selling our BCDR, that's fine with me. I'm not going to try to tell you to switch everything over. I've done stuff with Veeam. Leverage your vendors. I had a call a couple weeks ago, partner out of Connecticut. They got all of their vendors that have an MNAF program onto a 3-hour call. And basically, they pit us against each other. It was really smart. So they all had all the vendors up there saying, here's our plans, who has money for this, who has money for that. And it was really good because they were really strategic. It wasn't just, all right, I think I'm going to do a lunch and learn in March. Let me think about it. And I'll just try to piecemeal some together. I'll get $500 from Citricom and $1,000 from Dad and all these things. They planned it out. And they were able to say, here's my marketing budget. Here's how much I think I can leverage my vendors for. Here's my piece of it. And now you could have a real plan. So those are the ones that are successful. And you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Everybody's got co-brandable marketing material. We have, we've got our Powered Services Pro piece, which is great, but everybody does it. So if you're starting a marketing campaign in Q1 and you want to focus on small medical offices, you don't have to sit there and stare at a blank screen saying, what is my go-to-market message? Take a look at our marketing materials. Take a look at all your vendors. Go to Huntress, go to whoever it might be, and figure out, okay, I want to take a little piece of this, customize it for myself. It will speed up the process because there is a cost to go to market and try to bring on new clients, right? Leverage those industry reports. Everybody's doing them. We have this Kaseya Labs program now. They're pumping out great materials with our CISO and his team, and we're bringing in third parties. Share that, right? It's all available. You don't even have to be a Kaseya partner to go to Kaseya Labs and get some of that information. And then what we've done to take it one step further is we've got a team of former MSPs that run this Powered Services Pro organization where they will actually consult you and help you put together email campaigns and give you more marketing materials on all the products. So have those conversations. Now, the other thing, number 2, is to expand your existing stack. You've got your client base here. What other services are they not using right now that I could add to that stack? And obviously, you've got to have something that's not just a flashy, cool-sounding product, but it actually solves a need. But once you get into this pattern, it really becomes a prescriptive style sales process. It's, all right, let's look at what your security posture is right now. It's good, right? It's better than when I started working with you. But we still need to get to here. And in order to do so, here are some of the things we need to do. Now, maybe the budget doesn't work out right now, but this needs to be on our roadmap. And certain things need to be non-negotiable. I need to do whatever it needs to be, whether it's backup, whether it's email security, whether it's email backup. I'm prescribing this to you. Now, you could opt out of it, sure. I mean, it's your choice. But I need you to sign off and opt out of it. And so I have it in writing that I offered you the best security package, and you decided not to do it. That's fine. I just want to keep it in my file, and we'll review it every 6 months. You put that in front of somebody, people don't want to sign off on what's essentially declination of coverage, right? This is how you're going to differentiate yourself. When we go to market, we talk about, Cybersecurity Month was October. There was a million webinars and live events, cybersecurity. What did we suggest to our clients? Don't talk about cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is 5 years ago. Talk about cyber resilience. Talk about the NIST framework. Talk about all the things that you're doing that, yeah, we're going to, of course, try to protect you, but what happens on the right side of the boom being that attack? Well, here's all the things that I'm doing to help you detect that an attack occurred. Here's how I'm going to respond to it. And here's how ultimately I'm going to recover that data. So leverage your vendors for those things, right? Now, I come from the construction management industry, and there was a thing called the Golden Triangle. And so, you know, what we would do is we'd look at a project, someone would come to us, and we built schools, hospitals, the big projects, and we'd say, okay, well, what is it you're trying to do? All right, we're going to try to build this school. We've got a $300 million budget. Okay, well, let's just spec this all out. Here's your budget. Here's the scope that you want. Here's the time frame you want. Now, if all of a sudden the budget's too high, okay, that's fine, but then we're going to have to reduce the scope or extend the time. Now, this is a way you could have that conversation with your clients to say, okay, here's what I think you need. Here's my report. You need X, Y, and Z to be completely protected right now, okay? And here's the manpower that I need to really put behind it to make sure I could do that. Now, if the budget's too high, okay, what are we going to take away from it? Are we going to take some of the scope away? That's fine, but I want you to see it in a visual pattern. I think this applies to anything in sales, and it's a good way to kind of explain that. And then the last way you're going to make money, and people kind of overlook this, is maximizing your efficiency, right? When you look at what your actual dollars in your pocket are going to be, that's one of the main things that we're trying to do with the IT Complete Suite, is to say, okay, well, here's your stack. How much time are your tech spending actually managing this stack? It could look great on paper. I'm making 40% margin on my BCDR device. Awesome. But if my techs are spending hours and hours every day managing that fleet, how much real margin am I putting in my pocket? How much real money am I putting into the business that I can go out and help grow? How scalable am I right now with my current managed services stack? This is the time to talk about it, right? You're around all your peers. Make sure you meet everybody in this room and pick their brain, because every vendor's going to have our ideas. The best thing about a conference like this is talking to the person sitting next to you and understanding exactly what kind of real margin should I be getting? How am I measuring this margin? And what do integrations really mean for that, right? The average MSP right now works with 17 different vendors. Now think about 17 different vendors at 17 different portals, all the different integrations you need to have, right? And all those integrations are great. We're an open ecosystem. We integrate with everybody. But then you take a look at it and say, okay, on average, every single one of these vendors puts out a release every month. That's what we all pride ourselves on, right? We're going to put out 12 releases. And within that, there's probably 10 to 15 new advancements. That means you and your techs have to learn 3,000 new updates every single year. And when we did our study, 70% of those advancements are not utilized. So you might vet a vendor who has all these great, cool features, and 6 months down the road, you realize my techs aren't even utilizing those really cool features that we're seeing out there. Now, one of the things that we're trying to do at IT Complete, we've got what's called Cooper, and Cooper will go in and say, hey, you haven't turned this on. We notice you're not using this integration properly. And it's not like Clippy back in the day that we used to see and be annoying. This is real integrations that will help you. And we're seeing about 80% of those suggested advancements being actually actioned upon by the partner. So these are real things. So those are the types of things that we're trying to do. Join a peer group. Talk to everybody. Right? Understand exactly. Open your books and have conversations. One of the best things about the channel is the fact that people share so many ideas. I've never been in an industry like this, where you could be sitting next to a competitor and be their best friend. I see it all the time in every market. Those are the successful MSPs that understand that I don't need to grow by stealing from my competitor. I need to tap into that huge white space of small businesses that are not using an MSP right now, right? That 4.5 times growth right now. That's how we all succeed, because ultimately what we're all trying to do is to get the small to medium-sized business community to understand the only option is for them to work with an MSP. And that doesn't mean you're putting down other MSPs. That doesn't mean you're putting down vendors. It doesn't mean that I'm out here talking poorly about other vendors, because we want the business community to say, it's not a matter of if I should work with an MSP, it's which one. And then we all get a piece of that pie. And joining peer groups is very critical for that. And planning for scalability. I know, you could put together a great security plan for a client and have your top 10 techs working on it, and that's great. You got all your eggs in that basket, and that could be very profitable, but how scalable is that? Can I scale with that? At what point do I need to start outsourcing some of these things? A couple years ago, everybody wanted to rush and become an MSSP. Every event was talking about it, and we've seen some people become very successful. I also see very big, robust, large MSPs say, I don't want to be an MSSP. I want to outsource that. And now there's lead sharing there. I've done joint MDF events with an MSSP and an MSP talking to the same audience, because that MSP doesn't want to do some of that work, and the MSSP surely doesn't want to do the day-to-day work of an MSP. So plan for scalability. Here's my goals. Here's how I'm going to get there in terms of adding new clients and all those things, but do I have the resources to support them? And just, when we talk about integrations, everybody will come up here, every vendor will show, okay, a ransomware attack occurs, here's where you need to do, I'm going to click here, I'm going to jump into there. Those are all great, and they're sexy, and they're flashy, but think about just day-to-day integrations. Think about something like a phishing training. What do you have to do right now? You got to go to the Active Directory, right? You got to choose the people you want to be part of that campaign, right? You've got to execute that, right? And then all of a sudden they say, oh, well, we forgot that we just hired 2 new people, and oh, don't send that to the CEO, CFO. On average, it takes about 90 minutes or so just to complete the 10 steps to send out an easy phishing attack. Now, when we talk about integrations, what we're doing, so we've got, Graphis, IT Glue, and Bullfish for that attack. Well, IT Glue already knows all of everybody that's in there, even the new employees. They know that they could easily just exclude the CFO and CRO as well. They also know we could turn off Graphis so that nothing gets caught up. We know every one of these phishing emails is going to get through. That Bullfish will actually also allow you to say, okay, this was a real phish. Graphis identified this as a real phishing attack. We could pull out the virus, actually send that out with Bullfish to see if that client would have clicked on that email. How powerful is that? And you're able to do this with a couple of clicks to make sure those go out. So those are the type of integrations you really need to think about when you're thinking about scalability and adding to your bottom line. So just a conclusion, net new clients, right? Leverage your vendors on that, expanding that existing stack, and then focus on efficiency. So we've got a booth in the back. I've got a great team. If you want any more information, there's a QR code, but we'll be here for the next couple of days. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Chief Marketing Officer, Marketopia, Andra Hedden.
There we go. How's everyone feeling? Yeah? Favorite session so far? Any takers? Any takers? Okay, well, get ready. We are about to hear a panel. I teed this up a little bit earlier when we talked about. Oh, why? No, I need it. I need it. Yeah, I need it. Thank you. Thank you, though. So we talked about this a little bit earlier. How are specific vendors in here going to help you get where you're trying to go as a business? Again, that's the name of the game. I'll say it 100 more times before we leave on Wednesday. We are talking about growth. That is all we're trying to accomplish together here. So I'm going to bring up some panelists that are going to do just that. So they're going to share with you from their perspectives, from their companies, the things that they're working really hard on internally to be a partner-first business and to be looking out for you and the growth of your business. So without further ado, let me just click ahead and some of these panelists might look a little different in person. I'll let you figure out who I'm talking about. But I'll bring up Jack, Matt, Derek, and John. Come on up. Welcome, welcome. I'll let you figure out who does not look as pictured. He's catfishing us. I'll let you figure out who that is. All right, so I'm going to let each of you, I know many of you very well, but I'm going to let each of the panelists do a quick introduction of themselves. Rapid fire, we're not going deep history, but rapid fire, who you are, business you're with, what territory you serve if you're a territory, or what business you own if you're a business owner. So let's start here. Jack, go for it.
Cheers, guys. My name's Jack Cook. I'm a channel development manager for Kaseya. I work in our MEA region. I joined the business on the Datto side about 5 years ago and was initially brought on to help new business and open regions that the company hadn't worked in before. And over time, roles changed, and now I work in our channel development team, along with Mike, who was on the stage previously, and Matt Scully at the back of the room as well. So I look after MEA, and I look forward to talking to you today.
Awesome, awesome. Kevin.
Well, cat's out of the bag. I'm not Matt Solomon, but Matt Solomon's in the back corner. I guess he got stage fright today. But my name's Kevin Lancaster. I'm the CEO of Channel Program. Kind of quick background is I exited a $30 million MSP in April. Along the way, I spun out a company called ID Agent, sold that to Kaseya in 2019, and ran global go-to-market for Kaseya for 2 years. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Derek?
Name is Derek Nauer. I'm the SVP of Global Channel Sales for GFI, specifically focused on MSPs.
Awesome. Last but not least, John.
Hey, I'm John Tippett. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Citracom, also a former MSP, and then joined the channel and worked a few places along the way, including Datto. And now at Citracom, we were a unified communications company. We've extended out into a SASE and network connectivity solution as well, and we only sell to MSPs. So glad to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to actually start it right off with you, John. So it's important as we sit here, and again, these are some of the vendors that you're going to get to meet this week, but it's important to understand the way that they view their partnership with you, right? So I'm just going to ask a couple of you. I'll start off with you, John. When it comes to your organization, as you're working internally and you are a channel-first organization, how do you view your partners? Who is that to your organization? In just a few words.
Yeah, that's easy. Our partners are our life. And that's on purpose. We only sell through MSPs. We always have. Our CEO was a former managed services provider, and our entire C-suite came from the managed services space. So the solutions we create and everything we sell is intentionally built to be delivered through this channel. And all of us at Citracom came into this with the idea of helping solve these problems. We all lived a lot of these problems ourselves, and like some of the other stories, we enjoy creating solutions and bringing them to market and helping small businesses and the MSPs that serve them reach into spaces, enterprise space, technology, and areas that you otherwise can't get to by yourself. So to your question, everything that we do is listening to partners, talking to partners, our advisory boards, our conversations coming to these events is super critical. And we develop feedback based on what you're telling us and try to help you be successful with our solutions.
Absolutely. So I'm going to take that answer and peanut butter spread it across everyone. That should be what each of these businesses are trying to do, and I'm pretty sure with a nodding heads that is the deal, right? You as partners are the lifeblood of these vendors' channel organizations, and that's why this is important to make sure that we're having an open dialogue. So I want to go to Kevin really quick. So talk to me. I know obviously you're in a new venture, right? You'll get to meet the channel program as you pounce around and get to mix and mingle with the vendors over the next few days, but talk a little bit about what you are offering from an enablement perspective to partners. What does that look like? Because it's a little different.
Yeah, well, we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, I think, yesterday. And the idea behind channel programs, I've had the benefit of being on, let's say, 3 or 4 sides of the channel. I've scaled an MSP, I've scaled a vendor, ran, go-to-market at a large organization, and then invested in acquired companies as well. And the thought process behind our platform is that, you as MSPs, you're working with, on average, 40 different technologies, whether you know it or not. And what we wanted to do is build a platform that allowed you to go to one place, one login, access as many vendors' materials as you could access, so all their marketing documents, enablement materials, and take a lot of the friction out of having to log into all these 30, 40, 50 different portals. And so we've really leaned into kind of trying to take the friction out of the marketplace, consolidate some of these portals, and just make it easier for MSPs to scale access and communicate with their vendors in one platform. And it's growing. We're up to 130 different vendors now in the platform, and about just under 6,000 MSPs signed up already.
I love that. It's so the adoption is the big piece, right? So as a vendor, if you're doing something right if the adoption is there, right? If you are paying attention and if you are actually adopting whatever it is that they're serving up, that's when you know. So I love hearing the numbers. I get shared them every so often from Kevin, so I like to hear that. Talk to me a little bit about, from an EMEA or an Americas perspective, I know you offer the same enablement resources both places, but talk to me about your channel partner program and what IT Complete and Kaseya is doing. And I want to tag into this from a little bit different standpoint, knowing your business. So with all the acquisitions that go on, right, sometimes it gets confusing to understand, wait a minute, what are the benefits of this company? Did that one go away? Does that one still exist? What does that look like? So talk a little bit about what that looks like. As a partner who's an IT Complete partner, what are the benefits? Like, what are you doing to enable partners today?
Yeah, so I think a big thing for us is partner enablement isn't just something that's a side piece to our organization. It's not something that we just, certain people pick up. We have a whole section of our org dedicated to partner enablement now, and that's a team of nearly 80 people. So whether that's our Powered Services Pro platform for help with sales and marketing, there's the Tree Peer, so for the peer groups, you've got myself, Mike, and a large team that attend industry events, look after MDF as well. It's a really key focus for us to try make sure that we're constantly educating our internal growing team, because through acquisitions we get new sales reps, new parts of the org added fairly regularly. We need to make sure that they understand what we can offer their partners, as well as trying to help our partners understand as much as possible. So with IT Complete, there's an awful lot going on. It's really about trying to just upskill and give people as much information as possible where relevant to their business.
Okay.
I think that's a big focus for us.
No, absolutely. And I see, coming from a marketer perspective, right, I pay attention to what's going on. I pay attention to the businesses, and I see the story being woven closer and closer and closer and closer. And you see that with acquisitions. It starts off as they're individual, and then they start getting the story to band it all together and to tell it easier to the partner base. So I can definitely see that.
I think the big thing for us as well, with so many different orgs coming together, is we are trying to have one unified partner program. With benefits. So as partners move up the tiers, they get additional benefits. You get tickets to Growcon, you get more resource from us, you get access to potentially more MDF, marketing development funds. It's all about trying to bring those different parts of the org together. Like MDF was something that Kaseya never historically offered, but through the acquisition with Dado, we're trying to bring out the best parts of the different acquisitions and bring them in to make the whole company better. And so that's why you're now seeing such a massive MDF program from Kaseya, because it's something that we're constantly hearing from our partners that they love and they get really great returns from. It's something Mike talked about before.
Absolutely.
All about trying to build that into one singular, really focused, actually beneficial partner program for you guys.
Awesome. Derek, I'm going to toss this over to you. So we talked a little bit about platforms. We talked a little bit about different offerings. I want to go into, you can share a differentiator for you when it comes to partners, and then take us into the types of partners that are good partners for you. Like, what does a good partner look like? So at the end of the day, this is a marriage, right? We got to figure it out. What does a good partner look like? They know what they're looking for. They're looking for vendors that are going to help them grow. But what does a good partner look like for you as well?
For me, it's really partners that will allow us to help them. Right? As Terry mentioned earlier, the thing that we compete with every day is procrastination, and I'm going to take that to time. We talked about marketing, MDF funds, all the different resources, multiple platforms that we can work on together. So to me, a good partner is somebody who lets us give you some of our expertise, because we all know that time is your biggest constraint for growth. Let us help you there.
Absolutely, absolutely. John, what is if we're all just talking about the things that can make any of this better, right? Talk to me about struggles. So when it comes to partners, what is it that you see as a struggle? Are partners adopting your program? Is it like, where would you like to bridge a gap? I'll give you this opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah, I think that's a good point you made about open-minded and helping. It's tough. We're all in this business together. We're all trying to sell services. You're trying to sell to your clients. We're trying to sell through you, with you, into the marketplace. What's super unique about our channel is that it's close. Like, at the end of the day, like, we're all the same team. And a lot of us up here have been with different companies. We know each other. We all help. I think when we look at struggles that we see our partners have is either taking on too much and not staying focused on how to grow the business, or not realizing the value that vendors actually play. And we try to not come across that way as pushy or trying to move an agenda, but the reality of it is we all understand the space. You're working in your market, coming to these events. All of us up here talk to thousands of MSPs, and we can aggregate those struggles and aggregate the feedback and are trying to relay that to you. So I think engage with all of the vendors you can, have an open mind, even if there's something you don't need, not specific to us at all. Every vendor in this channel has something to add to you, and some value that you can take, whether or not you're even consuming the services. So I think that's part of the struggle we hear is a loss of that reality that you're not walking through some commodity mall with someone trying to hand you a sample to take home. Like, everyone here is selling to the same customer, and there's something that everyone can teach you and something you can take away.
Absolutely. What about on your side, Jack? Any struggle? Anything that you'd want to share, maybe that the partners don't even know about the offering, or something that would surprise them? I know Michael just chatted, so hopefully they know everything about what Kaseya and IT Complete has to offer. But anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, look, I think Mike made a really good point. When you boil it down, there's 3 key ways an MSP is going to look to grow. It's going to be acquiring new business, upselling and cross-selling your existing business, or making yourself more efficient. I think we're trying to do that across every single one of those steps. We really want to empower you to find new business, help you with things like MDF, to go out to events, industry events, things where you can get on new clients. We spend a lot of time training our sales staff and upskilling our sales staff, and so regularly, go chat to your account managers, not just with Kaseya, but at your other vendors. If you think you have a really good account manager, why not ask them to come in and maybe give some training to your account management team or your sales team? What can they do that could help your sales team? I think that's really important, because leverage the fact that these bigger organizations will sometimes have much more budget to spend on upskilling and training their sales teams. And then with it, trying to make yourself more efficient, that's where we're really coming in with the IT Complete platform to try bring everything as easy as possible to vendors or to MSPs with best-in-class solutions. To really try make your business run as efficiently as possible, or give you the tools, if you want them, to run it as efficiently as possible. I actually had I was at an event in the UK a couple of weeks ago, and had an MSP that I was talking to that said they'd never bought anything directly from Kaseya, but over the years they'd now had 6 or 7 different Kaseya solutions. And they were like, now I'm actually evaluating everything that you guys offer, because I spend a long time going out making sure that I'm buying a best-in-class solution for my business, and then you guys would acquire them. So it's like, clearly you guys are acquiring best-in-class solutions, so rather than spending all my time evaluating 30 different vendors, maybe I should just look at the things you guys have in your stack. And that's what we're trying to do as well with an exercise we brought out called Profit Fuel, where our partners can have a look and look wholeheartedly at our whole stack and see what matches up against what they currently have, and what might benefit them or what might not.
I love that. I think one of the things that I'll add for any vendor that I really want each of you to be thinking about as you're meeting these vendors and as you're going out and taking your business to the next level after you leave Growcon, is the amount of resources, dollars, materials, talent, such as someone coming in and speaking at one of your events, someone helping you on a sales call. The amount of support that vendors bring to the table is massive. And sorry, I don't mean to turn against this side of the room, is massive. And I talk to hundreds of vendors and thousands of MSPs every single year, and the one disconnect is that these vendors, when they leave here, they're going back and talking about how they can continue to better help you guys. And they're spending a lot of time, energy, and effort on it. They're spending a ton of investment on it, and they're creating things to help you. And many of the MSPs that we speak with really don't understand what is being offered. It's too overwhelming. There's so many vendors that we partner with, and Kevin touched on this too. There's so many vendors, so it almost just becomes too much. So there's a gap between all these offerings and then the adoption of the partner. And so there's so much out there. I urge you, even your select, like your inner circle of vendors, do a quick reach back out. And I advise any MSP to do that quarterly. Hey, anything new? Anything new I need to know about with your partner program? Hey, anything that you guys are offering? Sometimes there's something that they're beta testing. Sometimes only a few partners are getting it. And you could get in there first and get these benefits that no one else even knows about yet. But I would urge you to keep touching back in and trying to figure it out for yourself, because there's a lot that they offer. Now, Kevin, do you want to add something, Derek?
Yeah, to me, one of the things that a pitfall that I see is often you like to pick one vendor to be at one event. We love working together. I also like competing with a lot of these people, but I love working together. And if it's right for you and your customer, let us help you. Let us multi-prong help you.
No, I think it's a great point. And oftentimes it's not thought of like that. I will say too, oftentimes the vendors need to be savvy enough to have dollars utilized in joint capacities, not just, this is my event, we're funding it, this is our shared logo time. You have to be savvy on both sides to go, hey, if we're gonna think partner first, we need to consolidate funds. We need to be able to show up together. We need to be able to give the partner a full story versus it just being the one-to-one thought. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just add to that. If you're talking to your vendors about running events, really understand what their program looks like. I had a partner in the UK, an MSP partner in the UK about 3 months ago. They wanted to run an event, but in order for them to fund the event and have as little of their own money put into it, it made sense for us to give them less, because another vendor was only going to match fund what they were putting in and things like that. So actually we give them less, the other vendor was willing to put more money in. So trying to understand what those scopes look like from different vendors and different programs is really going to benefit you guys in really maximizing the amount that you guys can get out of it.
Definitely. Talk to me, Kevin, a little bit about generating revenue and having differentiators when you go to the table. You guys did this really well at ID Agent, which is where the quick fire came, right? With the channel program, what does that look like? Like, why would a partner even care to take a look at, like, what is the differentiator? How does it, at the end of the day, help you make more money? What does that look like?
Yeah, so has anybody heard the phrase vendor sprawl? Right, friction. So again, being in your shoes for the last 20 years, I think at one point, I think we worked with 75 different vendors in bringing their technologies to our public sector clients, what have you. And so, again, kind of leaning into like why we built this platform. First was to, kind of centralize the vendors. And then secondly, we launched about, 3 months ago now, a platform called Navistack, where you can go in and add your vendors. We started with the 29 most common product categories. We're up to 72 core product categories that an MSP would work with. And so what's been really wild about this platform is that you go in, you add your vendors that you're working with, but then you see your gaps. And I think that for the first time for a lot of the MSPs, they really started to understand or visualize, the friction within their own business. And so there's vendor sprawl because there's the shiny new object, syndrome, and that is what it is, and you always want to be up to date in what's going on. But I think the first step, is making sure you get your house in order. Make sure you understand what's in your technology stack. Understand what are the gaps, and then start to bucket those, and then figure out how you can lean into these vendors. Because you're right. I mean, the vendors, especially ones in the stage, really lean into enablement. And they've got the resources. They want to support you. They have the MDF. They've got the channel managers and all the content to support you. But if you don't have a full understanding what your internal stack looks like, where are the gaps, what are the frictions, what are the redundancies? Maybe you acquired customers that used 2 different backups. Now you're working with 4 different backups, right? I mean, that's such a common theme. And so one of the things I always preach, especially now that we're seeing, just since we launched, we've had 1,000 MSPs add their stack or build their stack. I think we're over 13,500 products already added to the stacks, and we can see how chaotic it is on the other side of the table for you guys. But I think the first step is just making sure you get your house in order, and then selectively start engaging with your vendors, because they're here to help. A lot of these guys up here are pretty well funded, and they're ready to help you guys grow.
Absolutely. John, I'm going to toss it over to you. Talk to me, bring me back to revenue generation with Citricom. If I'm a partner and I decide that I want Citricom to be in my mix, what is that allowing me to do from a growth perspective? So how am I making money with you?
Yeah, so specifically with Citricom, we're a product and engineering-led company, and why does that matter to this point about how do we generate dollars in revenue is we don't white label anything, we don't resell anything. Everything we develop is our intellectual property with our engineers. We've been doing it since we were founded back in '08. Now, as that relates to how do you generate profit around it, we have 2 major product categories. One is a fully managed unified communication solution, and the other is a SASE platform, software-defined networking. Both of those are specifically built to be delivered through MSPs into the channel, and that's one of the biggest differentiators. And you go out and you're thinking like, I need to get new customers, I need to get new leads, how do I go do that? We help you. For example, on the SASE platform, it's built to be delivered as a managed service. You're not quoting hardware, quoting firewalls, talking about other people's brands. We enable you to sell your brand and to leverage your reputation and blend this in and sell it as a cost of goods sold. And now all of a sudden you're selling network connectivity and security as a cost of goods sold. On the telephony side, we do all of the work for you, so you can close that gap, capture the additional wallet share, and just simply collect profit. We actually do the onboarding, all the legal work, all the taxes, everything on the back end, and 100% of that is through the MSP. So because we came from the space and are focused on the space, the products that we built are built based on market gaps, and they're built with the intention of being packaged and sold through as a managed service in categories that aren't always available. And specifically in the networking space, we're spending a lot of time there bringing that into the MSP channel so that you can sell that as your brand and actually meet some of the changing demands in the market.
Nice, nice. No, I appreciate that. My goal is to ask the questions that I think you would ask. So talking about GFI, how do I make money with you? Why is that partnership important? If I'm an MSP sitting here today going, who do I partner with? Where am I trying to go in 2024? How do you help me get there?
Yeah, so how we help you get there is how do you want us to help you get there? For the size and resources that we've spent a lot of time talking about up here, it's what do you want? What do you need? For my size, I'm the most flexible vendor that I know. And we can layer that in with other people's partner programs, but in what way can I help you? Is it from my varied product stack, or is it from marketing resources, marketing development funds? I can help you make a one-pager if you need us to. Like, how can we help you? And that's how we want to multiply what you're doing. You guys know the customers. You talk to them. I can't tell you how to do that. How can I help you do that?
So sales enablement is so key when it comes to helping each and every one of you, right? So the two things that I think from an MSP perspective, I know every survey that we've ever done and many of them that you see floating out there in the space talk about what are the biggest struggles that you go through. And 90+% of the time, the answers are sales and marketing, sales and marketing, sales and marketing, sales and marketing, right? You've got the back end figured out. You've got the engineering side figured out. You've got the services figured out. The bummer is that no one ever gets to see how great your service is. No one ever gets to utilize any of your solution until you market it to get a lead to sell it. So that's the struggle on the upfront, right? And that's what's so important to tee up the front of your business to grow. So talk to me a little bit, Jack, about powered services. So you have an enablement tool, and I think you and your team have done a great job of piecing together some of the things that will help with some of the struggles that partners have, which is sales and marketing. So talk to me a little bit about what does that look like for a partner? You know, how are you guys trying to go above and beyond to solve this hurdle?
Yeah, a colleague of mine always makes a great analogy that you spend all this time building a speedboat. You know, you build your MSP, you build a speedboat, you try to get all the best components into it. But sometimes you leave the offboard motor off because that's what pushes you through, and that's your sales and marketing. That's what we're trying to do with Powered Services Pro. So we're trying to make a platform that is as easy as possible for you guys to use, that has tons of content in there that isn't necessarily product specific. It can be vertical specific, it can be industry specific, it can be services specific, but it can all be white labeled, it can all be pushed out by you. But we also then, a good chunk of our partner enablement team sit behind that. So they're not only constantly pushing out new content, but they'll happily meet with you. And I think you get a check-in every 2 weeks where the guys will want to jump on, see how you're getting on, what can they help you? Is there any content that we've brought out that might be more relatable to you? How can we help push you in the right direction? What's benefit? You get some aspects of tree methods as well, which is part of our MSP growth platform designed by Gary Pika that you get through the Powered Services Pro platform as well. It's really designed to try get that big chunky motor in the back of your speedboat so that this business that you spent all your time building, making look really good, we can help you push it through the water as quickly as possible.
I think the sales enablement piece is really big. Although some of this might sound overwhelming, every single one of them have said how many resources they have, all these things that they can do. Ask me what you want me to do. Ask me what you want me to do. We'll do any of it. There's so much up here that they're willing to give, and I think sometimes that breakdown can come in. I was just doing a session earlier, and I said something along the lines of, it's like when you're younger and your teacher says, okay, you have to write your essay on this, and you're like, oh, I wish I could just write it on whatever I want. The day that they say, write it on whatever you want, you have no idea what you're gonna write about, and it takes you 12 years to figure it out. So that's what this is. They're all saying, I'll give you all of it, and you're like, I don't know what I want. I don't even know how to get what I want. I don't know. So when it comes to the sales enablement piece, there's so much that can help you, even if it's as simple as assets, resources, PowerPoints that can help you actually sell on the front end, people to join you on calls, e-learning and training on things that are even outside of just the product or solution. But there's a lot there. And you can start off as small or as big as you want. What were you gonna add?
I was gonna say, the same way when you guys are working with your clients, the easiest way for you to work closely with a client is to really understand what they want to achieve, what your clients want to achieve as a business, and so you can make sure that when you're talking to them, everything you're doing is aligning to what they want to achieve. They don't have to know the technical projects, they don't have to know what you're doing in the nitty-gritty to help them achieve that goal. So long as you're helping push them towards that goal, that's what really matters to them. And it's the same whenever you're interacting with your vendors. You know, what's going to be the number one thing that helps you in 2024? Is it going to be acquiring new clients? Is it going to be making your business more efficient? Is it going to be cross-selling to your existing client base? And let your vendors know. Talk to them. Have a meeting with them, you know, this side of Christmas or early next year, and say, look, this is what I want to do in 2024. This is what makes the biggest difference to my business. How can you help me do that? And when you're reaching out to me, I want you to really think, if you're reaching out to me, picking up the phone to give me a call, are you calling me about something that's going to help me achieve this key goal of mine in 2024? It's the same way you guys can have the exact same conversation with your clients, because it really makes your life much easier in understanding how you want to then talk to your clients. But it's the exact same relationship between you guys and the vendors as well, I believe.
Absolutely. I think that's a good tidbit from you. I love that. So let's just do quick last nugget from each one of you. We'll go Kevin all the way down to John, and then I'll round this out for us. What do you want everybody to know? Last little something as a takeaway.
Well, first, it actually warms my heart to hear that Powered Services is going so well. When I created with Dan Tomaszewski and Matt Solomon about 4 or 5 years ago, didn't realize it was going to turn into such a major program at Kaseya, so well done. But I think just for kind of a takeaway, like our platform is completely free and open to MSPs. So if you get a chance, you can go over to the site, just channelprogram.com, and you can look at the stack charts and see how vendors are ranking. It's kind of we'll call them quadrants. You know, we're not infringing on Gartner trademarks or what have you, but we've got some stack charts up there. You can see in a more organized manner, you know, how the vendors are faring in their product categories, and then it takes all of a minute or two to create an account and start filling in your stack, and then you can also do product reviews. And so we just want to be an enablement tool to help MSPs really organize themselves, and then try to do as much as we can do to, again, take the friction out of the marketplace and make your jobs easier.
Love it. Go ahead.
For me, my plea is help me help you. For those that don't know GFI's name, we have 9 major products. We have 80,000 installed in the VAR and traditional subscription space. We're relatively new stepping into the MSP space. I don't have enough MSP partners to take the leads from people that were on a subscription and are tired of taking care of email, patch management, any of that stuff themselves. So come talk to me about it. I'd love to pass people that are already using my stuff as potential customers for you guys.
I love that. Handing out clients. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. John, round us out.
Yeah, so this is Growcon. So come talk to us at CitraCon. We'll show you our top partners just adding CitraCon products. Conservatively are adding 40% or more to their top line just by streamlining with the solutions that we offer, and are adding millions in enterprise value. Come talk to us. We'll show you the math and show you how it works and how simple it is to execute.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to each of you. Give them a big round of applause. Yes. So the last thing I'll mention on every single one of these gentlemen that are sitting up here is, you mentioned it first, Jack, it's about partnership. So when you're building out your partnerships too with your clients, it is the same motion. You need to be doing some of the things that he was talking about, and I know a lot of you are not. So talk to your vendors, and again, they might be looking at you as a one-to-one. You need to be looking at them as a one-to-many. You need to get strategic about how to pair up all the vendors that you care about, how to pool those dollars together, how to pool those resources together, how to get marketing campaigns from 4 up here and then line them up, and now you've got an annual plan that you can deploy. There's such a power in the aggregation of what these vendors are sharing with you that would actually leave you not lifting a finger when it comes to a lot of your sales and marketing pieces in your business. So thank you again. Big round of applause, and you guys can head off. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. What do we think? Did we learn anything? Yeah, we learned some things? Okay. So my challenge to you is go back and assess what you are or are not doing with your current vendors and set a plan in place. Talk to your PAM, CAM, whatever they're calling it in the vendor that you're connecting with, and make sure that you understand the offerings. And then you can turn to partners. If you don't even know what to do with the offerings when you figure it out, come to Marketopia. We'll help you put something together. Go to another company. Get someone to help assist you take advantage of what you've got going on. So, all right, without further ado, you can come up and grab these. I'm going to bring up Terry Hedden. He's going to kick us off with some rapid fire. Terry Hedden. Dun, dun, dun.
So one of the things that's very common in our community is that the vendors have great products. And what we're trying to do with Growcon is to really motivate and inspire them to elevate what they deliver in terms of value to their partners, to encourage, I guess, what they want and you want, which is more sales, more profit for you selling their products and services. So we've asked a few of them to come up and share a little bit about their organization and how they help their partners succeed in finding more revenue and more profit opportunities. We'll start off with Climb. Climb? All right, here we go. All right. Climb is a client of Marketopia and excited to hear what they have to say. All right, here we go. Doesn't look like it's on, does it?
Hi. Okay, so well, hi everyone. My name is Cindy. I'm sales engineer at GFI Software. We are a technology company that has products in our portfolio from security to network to communication. I'm not going to deep dive into the technical things, but if you want to know more, we will be at the Ivy's room at 4:30. So meet us there. We are also at booth number 60, I believe, right? On your right, so feel free to come and chat with us. But what I do want to mention here is how can we help you grow? That's our goal. So we are committed to help MSPs thrive in these very competitive market, we can say, and also that the IT scenarios and the IT threats and the IT everything is always evolving. So we are committed to help you grow, and our commitment is tangible with our latest addition to our portfolio that I want to mention today that is called App Manager. App Manager is a cloud-based console that will allow you to manage everything from a single pane of glass, to get your reporting, to get your metrics, to get everything. And how does this actually help you? Because this translates into efficiency, and efficiency is less time spent configuring stuff, providing more value to your end customers. That's what you want to do, and how you prove how your services are helping your end customers. So that's definitely what we want to help you with, prove that value to your end customers, which again will translate into saving time and to, of course, higher margins. So we want to show you our portfolio, we want to show you our tools. We also have licensing module that is specifically for MSPs. We have flexible monthly billing that will allow you to maybe customize your offerings, to come up with some packages for solutions that you will provide to your end customers that will accommodate to their needs, to their budget. So come talk to us and we'll be more than happy to give you more information.
Everything she said. We're in the same room at 4:30 on a breakout session. So I'm Greg Miller with Imperva. My coworker Steve Ambrose is here. So we're real excited to be here. We've been around for 20 plus years. Enterprise security company. Started with cloud web application firewall, and now our hope is that we can bring really enterprise grade security solutions to the MSSPs that really want to deliver those type of more complex solutions for your clients. So we'll get into a little bit more at the breakout session. So anyway, looking forward to partying with you guys tonight.
Hi guys, my name's Kevin Udick. I am with ArcServe. Some of you guys may have known us over the years because we've been around for about 10 or 15 years. StorageCraft merged with ArcServe, so we've been in the backup and disaster recovery industry forever. Our core focus has been in the SMB marketplace. We've been very successful there. It's basically click it and forget it. So we can back up all your physical machines, your virtual machines, your laptops, you name it. We give you a lot of flexibility with our company. So let's say, you know, a lot of these guys out there make you buy an appliance or something, or these expensive boxes. We allow you to take our software, stick it on anything you guys want to put together, and make a better margin with that. We love working with you guys. We have MDF funds like they've talked about. You know, come talk with us. We're more than willing to come on site, work with you guys, do some lunch and learns, webinars, you name it. And we do lots of different things. So even if you've got some larger clients, we do have appliances and machines that can back up larger environments. So we definitely can help you out there. And one of the biggest things we've been selling, the hottest ticket item right now, is software as a service for Microsoft 365 and backing up Google Workspace. That is something to help you guys in your industry. It's click it, forget it, charge them a couple dollars a seat, and they're backing up their Microsoft 365, which most clients think that Microsoft does that. They do not. They're responsible just for 30 days. And after that, you're out of luck. So come on by, talk to us again. We're in the IBIS room with Klein, and we'd love to get further into this stuff.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. Our next speaker is the 20. Oh, here he comes.
Hey, Terry, how are you?
Good, man. Good.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, how is everyone today? Awesome location. I'm psyched to be here at Growcon with everybody. My name is Andrew Chirilla. I'm our Vice President of Channel Sales at the 20. So we actually are a national organization. We have over 150 MSP members across North America. And a lot of the MSPs that come to us, you know, what they're trying to do is they're trying to grow their company. They're trying to scale their business. They're trying to figure out, you know, how could I crack this code? How could I be a 7-figure MSP? How could I alleviate all the headaches that I have? How essentially could I do what I'm passionate about in my business and not get bogged down by simple tasks, tier 1, tier 2 level support tickets, right? I have a lot of MSPs that will come to me and say, look, man, I'm really good at security. I'm really good at consulting. When I got into this business, this is exactly what I want to do. But the big problem is I am bogged down because it's just me who's fielding support tickets, or I just have 1 or 2 techs. I have limited capabilities, right? I want to go after new business that's in different geographic regions that I don't currently service. And honestly, I don't know how to do it. I can't take on the overhead. I can't take on the stress. My wife or my husband are going to kill me because I'm working too many hours. I can't take a vacation. Have you guys been there? Really, none of you guys have been there at all? Wow, bunch of liars in here, man. So this is exactly what we help you guys with at the 20. So we're based out of Plano, Texas, right outside of Dallas. To our members, you know, a lot of people talk about us in these circles and they say, oh, you know, the 20, they're an augmented help desk. I mean, we are an augmented help desk, but we are so much more than that. We are a growth acceleration and a transformation tool for your business, guys. We are a national peer group. So when you join the 20, you are no longer a single office MSP or an awesome MSP in a certain city in Tampa and Atlanta and Dallas and wherever. You immediately become a 150 office organization with enterprise level capabilities and bandwidth, whether that's for projects, whether that's for simple things like hardware moves, whether it's to have boots on the ground to put on a fire and go fix a server, go fix a hard drive. So you guys have those capabilities with the 20. Our help desk, yes, we're awesome. I'll be frank with you guys. We're the best. We're 24/7, 365. We're white glove. We work in pods. We could take the impetus of all those tickets off of your shoulders. In addition to that, you know, if there are any plans for exit strategy, we provide our MSPs the options to to roll up, to grow their business, to get to a certain EBITDA. And if someone wants to work and pass their business down to their family, we say to you guys, hey, that's great. Come be a member. There's no one better to help you grow and scale than we can. So with that being said, if you guys would like to learn a little bit more, if you'd like to engage in deeper discussion, we're set up right over here. We're so grateful to our partners at Marketopia. There is not one single MSP that I speak with where I probably don't bring up Marketopia, Terry. With you guys, it seems like y'all are the perfect 1-2 punch. We help grow, we help scale, we help businesses get to where they want to be. And from a marketing side, they've been phenomenal partners, and we typically always refer our customers to them. So we're appreciative for the opportunity to be here. Please be sure to swing by the booth and come see us. Again, my name is Andrew. My counterpart over here is Jack, and Chris will also be over there, and we'll see you guys during the week.
All right, great. Thank you very much. All right. You're going to have the opportunity to meet with all these people upstairs. We're going to break it here in a bit, and you're going to have an opportunity to actually go and learn about how they're going to help grow your business, and you'll be the one who picks which session to go to. We'll go through that in a second. Our next speaker is Cyber Sales.
Hi everybody, I'm Pete Norris with Cyber Sales. We're a little bit different than a lot of the vendors in the room in that we provide a service, sales services for tech companies and MSPs. So we have a couple different programs that can help you accelerate sales. A lot of folks in the tech industry, they didn't come from that sales background, and they need services like Marketopia, who is a great partner of ours, by the way, to help on the marketing side. We're on the sales side of the house. So we have a couple different programs. One is our kind of in-depth where we become an extension of your sales team and your management group. And that's our acceleration, sales acceleration. And we work with you to see where you are now and where you want to go. And what are there holes in that sales strategy? How do we build the sales strategy? Do we need to hire people? Do you need a virtual VP of sales to come in and help your team? Do you need help with operations? Sales acceleration tools. So it's really a customized program where we work hand in hand with you. The second part of our offering is called Techcelerate, which is an interactive sales coaching group. The way that works is you become part of a team of other MSP salespeople, and we have Zoom meetings almost every day of the week. So Mondays, we have a sales stand-up. Your sales team would come to the Zoom meeting, and we talk about what are the goals for the week. We do some sales training. What are the issues that we want to cover? Tuesday and Wednesday, we have open office hours. So salespeople can come in and talk about they're having trouble closing this deal. We're coming up against these objections. How do we handle that? Thursday, we go through pipeline. So it's pipeline review. You can obviously anonymize some of the names on the pipeline, but we want to make sure that everyone's accountable and moving sales along every week. So this is really it's a great coaching group if you don't have an advanced sales and sales management team in place. That also comes with a great resource library. So do you have sales scripts? Do you putting together quotas, putting together sales plans and sales strategies? We have a lot of materials for you in that. So, and by the way, with this, we're doing a special Growcon special for our Techcelerate coaching group, and that's 40% off for anyone who signs up this week with us. So swing on over here, and also you can come up to our breakout session. It's at 6 o'clock in the IBIS room, and we're going to be talking about building that sales machine. Thanks, everyone.
So they're a new kind of partner in Marketopia with the goal of helping close more deals. One thing you've found in Marketopia over the last couple of years is we've recognized that generating leads is just step one. We have to close the deal or it doesn't really matter, right? So we've invested a lot, and then we're really thankful for their partnership, and hopefully they can help our vendors close more. Our next speaker is Citricom.
Thank you. Well, the product that we're talking about today is to help you solve a very specific problem. It's a technical problem, but it's also a sales problem. The issue that you guys are running into, whether it is super clear to you or not, is that the traditional tactics to secure a network are no longer sufficient. Even more so, not only technically difficult to challenge, but they're hard to sell. It's a commodity transaction. You're trying to sell a thing, and you have to go quote another vendor's product on the paper, finite amount of markup you can put. How often do we run into that? Why did you quote this thing? I called and I got another price from somewhere else. And you have to manage that solution. On top of that, even when you're successful in selling it, you've sold something that's hardware-centric in a world where everything has moved into the cloud. You cannot control end users with a traditional networking solution. How do they work remotely? With a VPN connection. What do they do if they don't like content filtering on the VPN solution? Turn it off. They know their credentials to get to cloud resources. What if they want to connect from a child's laptop or something they bought at Best Buy? Yep, they do that. You guys deploy software, EDR, XDR, your RMM tool. What happens if that stuff stops running or they get their own device? Crap, they can still get on the network. What's happening here? So you need device-based control. You do not need to spend all this time in your business with these complicated technical solutions that you're forced to use today. And you need to be able to connect all of your networks together and do it efficiently in a closed, secure environment. And most importantly, as it relates to Growcon, you need to be able to sell that. You need to be able to make money at it. You need to be able to catch and capture margins and sell your brand. So that's what we created Control One for. It is a software-defined networking solution. It's infinitely flexible and scalable. You can deploy it to 2 users with no sites. You can deploy it to thousands of users, infinite number of sites. Hardware is included, software is included, crazy easy to sell, and you sell your brand. So you are selling your brand with managed services and allowing us to deliver those solutions through your practice. Hardware as a service, your firewall is included, remote connectivity, you're now able to deliver zero trust network access as a service. The entire thing is in one platform. It's also only available through MSPs, so we don't compete with you, super easy for you to take to market. And there's no contracts. There's no licensing to buy, there's no commitments, it's nothing. We're that committed to our partnership, to the questions we were talking about in the panel. You can literally leave anytime you want to, and we earn your business every single day. So now imagine when you're selling your managed services that you can list out things on your agreement that you can't reach today. That you can actually say, our managed services, which is now more expensive, 40, 50% more than you charge today, includes all of the hardware. It includes the firewall. We're not going to sell renewals anymore. We're not going to do management of firmware. You don't have to mess with that anymore in your business. SD-WAN, this complicated multi-site connectivity is all built into this solution. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to add. It's based off of people, not devices. So very, very easy for you to sell. How many sites, how many users, the licensing is done. You don't have to deal with MAC addresses, laptops, VLANs. You can let your complex network engineers spend their time on what should the design be, not programming routers and programming firewalls. We've completely taken that out of the equation. So all of this allows you to procure it super easy, bundle it in with your managed services, and make new margin and retain your clients in a way that you cannot do today. So make sure to come by the booth and talk to us. We'll show you how it works. We'll be glad to book a demo and show you how simple it is to add this to your stack and grow your top line and take complexity out of your business and help you differentiate yourself in your local market with network and security. Thank you all.
Yeah. All right. Our next speaker is none other than Threat Locker.
All right, guys, thanks. So get your poll hands ready. Who's never heard of Threat Locker? Never in your life? All right, good. I got some fresh meat. But, so thank you. When I was told I had to speak today, I was like, how can I kind of relate it a little more to sales? And I really thought about what Threat Locker does and what a good sales organization does. And they all have policies, right? There's a structure to everything. Everybody has a known good of what they should be doing, and everything else is just left out. So with Threat Locker, we're doing the same thing. With your applications, your software that needs to run, and really at the end of the day, ransomware is just another piece of software. So what Threat Locker does, it makes it really easy to catalog all those applications that you guys already have, and then locks the door and says, that's it, everything else, including ransomware, is blocked by default. Because at the end of the day, do your clients know which applications they're running within their environment? games, Chrome extensions? Is there some third RMM software still there? You guys don't know that without ThreatLocker. And then after that, we're able to control those applications, what they're able to do within the environment, and put least privilege policies around them. And really, at the end of the day, least privilege means least problems. And when you put least privilege around applications, network access, data access, as well as application control for admins, it's also least privilege for hackers. So that's what ThreatLocker does. It's a really pure, ultimate cybersecurity tool. We're not hunting for the threat like an EDR does, because if you have the right walls in place, if you have the right locks on your doors, then why do you need 3 house alarms? So that's what ThreatLocker is doing, hardening the environment, putting least privilege in, and then making sure that there is process and policies in place. If there's no policy for Steam, no policy for a game, it can't run. There's no policy for a piece of ransomware, obviously it's not going to run either. So thank you guys. I hope you guys have a good Growcon. See me at the booth later.
You're walking away with our, we kind of need that to continue. Awesome, thank you, sir. All right. All right. You had a couple slides to go through here, looks like, all right. Jeez, all right. Next speaker is Dell Technologies. Dell, come on up. Some of you don't know this, but I actually put in the ERP system at Dell. So if you ever curse Oracle Financials, that was me back in the day.
Okay, how does this work? Let's see if my slides made it. Oh, my slides made it. Hello, everyone. My name is Alicia from Dell Technologies. We're a super new, small startup, if anyone's heard of us. I hope you have, thank you for laughing at my joke. I was hoping that would land. Okay, so do we have any Dell partners in the room? All happy, I hope. The first question I get asked is, Alicia, what is the Dell Expert Network? I've never heard of it before. Is it the same as the partner program? Is it a new riff on the partner program? And the answer to all of that is yes, we are separate. We've been around for about 5 years, so I've been at the program since the very beginning, so if I've done my job at least a little bit well, hopefully a few of you in the room have heard of us. But we are going to have a breakout session at 5:30 in Sandpiper 1 upstairs. Allegedly, there's more than one Sandpiper, so look with the one that has me in the room. So I'm going to go into these benefits in a little bit more detail, but wanted to give you guys just a little snack of what we're going to go through and what our benefits of our program are. So we have 5 main benefits to the program. This is Growcon. How can you sell more? How can you market yourself? How can you grow your company? How we help you do that is saving you time and expediting the hardware procurement process so that it's easier on you, it's easier on your techs. There's not so many steps to go through. You're not having to log into a portal. You have a dedicated point of contact that's helping you with all of those quotes and projects so that you guys can get the hardware in the customer's environment. You guys can deploy it and start managing it. So we try to make that hardware procurement process a little bit easier for you. We provide price transparency through this program to your customers. So this is for MSPs who are not interested in selling hardware. So the reason why we initially developed the program is because we had MSPs coming to us and they're like, our hardware margins are shrinking, our clients don't pay their bills on time, we want to get out of the hardware game, we want to shift to MSP. How do we do that with you guys while still being recognized as an MSP through Dell, still getting service, and making sure that our clients are getting the right product? And this was the answer to that question from Dell. So I'm not going to get into a whole lot of the benefits. You can see them here on the screen. Again, join us for the breakout session. I'm going to do a deep dive in a couple of these benefits, like Dell Tech Direct and Dell Live Optics, which are, again, tools that we give you as a free resource after you join the program that will help expedite your trouble tickets, that will help expedite your hardware procurement so you guys can spend more time selling more things to your clients. So this is our landing page. You can scan the QR code there and connect with me on LinkedIn, and I hope to see a lot of you in the breakout later. There you are.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Again, you have an opportunity. When she talks about the breakout later, that's what we're going to be going to in a little bit. All right, our next session is with Outpost Sentinel. I always feel like they should be like an adventure travel company. So if maybe a promotion you could have is to take us all to like Machu Picchu or, I don't know. Yeah? I don't know if you have slides or not. Yeah, you do. All right, Nick.
Hey, good afternoon, good afternoon. Can you guys hear me clearly? Yes. All right. I'm Nick Hayes with Outpost Sentinel. I function as the solutions architect. and we are interested in your business. So one of the things that we enjoy is making, oh, I'm going the wrong way here, Terry. Let's see. Yep, not doing anything there. But anyway, so what Outpost Sentinel does is manufacture remote monitoring tools. So our goal here is to make sure we show you ways that we make RMM easier. So what that looks like is the ability to, get my slides going here. It gives you the ability to cover more of your customers' environments. I talk to MSPs every day, and one of the fastest way for them to grow is to make sure that they're covering as much of their customer space as they possibly can. I speak to a lot of end users as well. A lot of them still have millions of dollars of Nortel equipment out there, and they're still searching for MSPs to handle those scenarios. So what we look to do is match up the MSPs with the end users that can service their needs. And my apologies for the presentation not working here, but just creating those solutions for, there we go, MSPs. So when we're in an environment with an MSP partner, we take a holistic view of what it is that they have as far as managed services and what they provide as far as tools to make sure that they're in an environment where they've got as much as they possibly can of their customer's business. So that's everything from mission critical devices to highly secure locations to customers that have very stringent security scenarios that they have to have in place. So that's where we are and that's where we're positioned. We have a breakout session where we can get fully into the weeds at 6 p.m. in Sandpiper 1. But our overall goal is to make sure that you've got the right set of tools for your managed service environment, and you've got the ability to cover as much as you possibly can. So we'll see you guys there. Our booth is over in the corner. Team member Lance Rackley, he and I can discuss anything that you guys need to know. Thanks.
But you were hitting the wrong button there. It's the big green one there. We'll do a better job next time. All right. Let's see here. All right. Our next speaker is the channel program. All right. Look at this guy. He was a supermodel, decided to join the channel. One of the most popular people. If you ever want to have a drink with someone, have a good time, this is the guy to look for. Also, he's very generous and he'll buy your drinks for you. Oh, really?
I don't have any slides.
Okay.
I didn't even know about it. Matt Solomon, so you met my co-founder earlier today, and Kevin Lancaster on that panel. So we're a free tool for MSPs to evaluate their technology stack based on peer validation and product reviews. We've got over 4,000 product reviews from MSPs in our platform. The vendors are who pay our bills. That's usually the second question I get asked. That's how we're able to make it free for MSPs. And then we launched something called Navistack. It's the first vendor management tool that really has ever existed in this space. It allows you to visualize your stack for the first time ever and really start to manage the vendors that you're working with. Chat with them in one place. As Kevin mentioned earlier, get sales and marketing materials in a single place. And then we're going to talk about something we're launching in January. If you come to our breakout, we'll kind of break the news to you. You'll be the first MSPs to really know what we're launching in January, but it really operationalizes the Navistack view and really allows you to capture the management of vendors. We've had, just in 2.5 months of launching Navistack, we've had 970 unique MSPs build their Navistack, and over 13,000 products have been added to the various stacks. So we're kind of changing the game. We're really the only game in town that focuses on vendor management, and our motto for MSPs is making the lives of MSPs easier. So hopefully you'll join us in the breakout. Thanks.
Well, thank you. All right. Our next speaker is Virtue. Went backwards. All right. No, they're not here. All right. So we're going to have a song. Who'd like to sing? I'm just joking. We'll go forward and then we'll come back to them. Our next speaker is our Search. All right. Give the man a hand.
Thank you very much. Most of you guys probably need people to help you run your company, and that's what we do. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. I was just giving away a lottery winning ticket. So Sorry you missed the numbers. I'm a recruiter, and we only work with companies like yours, companies that provide IT infrastructure, support, strategy, and security. If you guys maintain, monitor, and manage the systems and networks of your clients, everybody here provides you services. What we do is we find you the people in your company from level 1 all the way up. That's all we do. We have a couple hundred clients we work with, and everybody needs people to run their business. And so if you need that, just right over there, this is my business card. You can find me anywhere. And majority of my time, I actually end up talking to business owners about their business. So we're not just like, hey, here's a person, interview him, interview her. Because a lot of you might not get the view we get of what the talent is saying, what your employees are saying, or what the industry is saying. So we provide that too. So we're not just, hey, it's just another recruiter, just wants to get a fee. No, that's not what it is. My father actually started recruiting in the 1960s, and I started in the 1990s, and continue to do it and hope to do it. But I love this channel. I love what you guys do, because I come from the small to medium-sized business world. And if you need any talent, just come over here, talk with me, and I hope you guys have a great time here. And I think what you're doing is wonderful for the industry, and continued success to everybody. Thank you so much.
Awesome, cool. Thank you very much. So hopefully you get a taste of some of the vendors we're bringing here today. We have a lot of people we call the emerging category. So they're new vendors, maybe even people you haven't seen or heard from, vendors who can't afford big booths at the big shows. We make it really easy for them to come and share what they can do, especially if they fit in with our goal of helping you guys grow, right? So obviously staffing is a big part of that. All right, next speaker is Vade. Come on up. Hit that green button right there.
Thank you.
There we go.
All right, all right, all right.
I don't think you have any
How are we
slides, though.
doing? Sorry?
I don't think you have any slides, though.
I don't have any?
I don't think so.
Should have been 2. Okay. All right, so no slides, so no clicker. My name's Jamil Ellingson. I'm with Vade. Show of hands, I'm an interactive speaker. How many of you have ever heard of us before? 1, 2, 3, anyone in the back? 4? Okay, we are the largest email security solution provider in the vendor space that you've never heard of. Okay, right now today we're protecting over 1.4 billion, with a B, mailboxes. A lot of the competitive landscape will talk about that they have trillions of messages and things like that. We have the mailbox. It's a significant differentiator. But the reason that I was super excited to come here and to speak with you guys, I've been working with MSPs for the last 8 years, and I love it. I love helping a partner grow their business. Helping a partner get to the next level for me that's the win. That's what I want to do. And so it's how does Vade help you do that? From InfoSec, this is not my stat, so you can trust it, it's external. The average amount of time that our partners actually spend managing email security is 30 minutes a month. Now imagine how much more you could invest your time, your energy, your good decision-making skills on your business if you're not worried about your email security solution, right? So that's the basic for this level. Come see us in Sandpiper 2. That's our breakout session, and we're right over here. We'd love to talk to you, and we very much appreciate your time.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Good deal, all right. Our next speaker is Cyberhawk. We are a client at Cyberhawk, great people. Are they here? She's walking fast, it's got to be a good sign. Nope, she's not walking here. All right, Cyberhawk must be upstairs. No big deal. All right, next speaker is Provisio. All right.
All right, so how many of you have customers that are running their business on a 20-year-old Microsoft Access application that will bring their business to a standstill if it goes down on their outdated on-premises server? How many of you have customers that have outdated applications where the developer is no longer available and it's a nightmare to manage? Yeah. So most of you don't have the resources to do custom web application development. And that's where Provisio comes in. We want to be your web development partner so that you can offer these services to your clients and, in alliance partnership with us, generate more revenue. So we're excited to be here this week. We'll be talking a little bit more about the platforms that we develop on and some of the applications that we've developed for clients like the ones that you have during the breakout session. So we hope to see you at that time. Our goal is to make you the hero of your clients by adding services that mean something to them to make their business more efficient and make your lives easier.
All right. We have a special vendor here, speaker. He used to be a client. He's definitely a good-looking guy, and he raises really beautiful horses. So, Michael Brandt, come on up and tell us what you can do to help people grow.
Hello, everybody. We just kind of came in here late. So our company name is Integrated Solutions Experts. I was customer number 3 of Marketopia, had my own MSP for 13 years, so I've been you. I understand what it takes. I'm a salesperson who understands technology. And what we have done is we have created a vehicle for you. You hear a lot of stuff here about from Terry and their team on getting you leads, from your vendor partners. You hear your clients ask for it. We've created a fractional sales and profit enablement engine for you that we can kind of customize for each of your needs. Because sales is the thing that I've heard from other MSPs we've competed with, from you guys, from others at other events and functions. We've created this fractional sales and profit enablement engine to work with you to help you grow your revenue, get you more profitable, make your customers sticky. We've got some pretty cool ways to do it. And really the best thing I can do to tell you, since I have such a short amount of time, is just make sure you talk to us. I think you'll be surprised what we can do. And at the end of the day, we can do it in a way that actually makes your expense a net zero. So look us up. We're over here in the corner. And we're giving away $200 Amazon gift cards, so feel free to touch. Thank you, sir.
All right. We are a client of this next sponsor, kind of a new vendor in my world for the MSP community. I'm excited to welcome Gong to the stage.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sam Fishbach. I'm a partner specialist with Gong. You know, a lot of times when we're working with partners and even working with Marketopia, for example, coming into spaces where organizations have these fantastic leads that they've received, and now they're questioning how they maximize on those leads. How do you capitalize on them? How do you ensure that your team is taking those leads and converting them well? That they're asking the right questions so that you make sure that those are the right client fits for you. Making sure that your team is asking the right questions to maximize the amount of product that you can sell into that space. That you guys are maximizing the amount of customers that you guys are retaining so that you can build your business. And, oh, beautiful. And how we do that is Gong is really going into your systems, and we always like to joke around that we're equal parts super, super cool and just a tad creepy. What we're doing is coming in and capturing all of your customer interactions, whether that be emails, phone calls, conversations, in-person meetings. And what we provide you is an actionable data set based off of all of your customer interactions, where our AI insights can go in, analyze that information, and provide you insights that you need to run your business. So if you guys are planning on making big bets next year, you know, you guys are trying to 2x your business, increase revenue by 25%, how are you guys planning to do that? Gong comes in and our AI can be used to really, you know, allow you guys to align your strategic initiatives, make sure they're hitting. We'll help you train and coach your reps on how to sell to make sure that they're maximizing the amount of profitability that you guys can get from your client base. If you guys are looking to grow your team in the next year, we are fantastic at decreasing your onboarding times and helping your reps hit revenue faster. So if you guys are interested in any of this, please stop by my booth in the back. I'm happy to walk you guys through things and answer questions. Thank you.
I love these new enterprise tools coming into our industry. It's going to help us grow up even quicker. All right, the next speaker is Token. Token, are you here? There she is. Here she comes, just a walking down the street, singing do-wah-dee-dee-dee. One old school verse in here. Yeah, actually dancing would be great. Tap.
Thank you. Hi, Beth Hannikin with Token. I'll make this short and sweet because I didn't know I had to do this. So I represent Token ring, and no, not that token ring. This token ring, okay? This is the next gen wearable biometric authenticator. We follow FIDO Alliance guidelines. So the goal is to go passwordless eventually, correct? This is the tool to get your customers there with not too much friction. Really easy to use. I'm back over here. I'll show you how it works. And we're just going to market now. Thanks.
Cool. Very cool technology. So it helps with authenticating people with their a ring, literally tapping a ring on a device. So very, very cool. All right, so now I'm going to go into a little bit of detail on this because I don't want it to be confusing. All right, so guys, now is the time for you to sit with the vendors to talk about how they're going to make you money, right? So they're going to go in there and talk. You can challenge them. You can ask them questions. Small group, it'll be an intimate environment. So how this works is there's 4 different rounds, okay? Each round is 25 minutes, so you'll be able to go to 4 sessions. So of the 5 people up here, of all the vendors here, you'll be able to pick 4 different sessions. So you can literally look at this and say, okay, I'm a Marketivia prospect, so I want to hit session 1 Pelican first, and then I'm going to go see IT Complete on session 2, then I'm going to see Dell Technologies on session 3, and then I'm going to go with Cyber Sales on session 4. So you'll be able to pick your sessions. These are on the digital billboards in front of each room, so you can see this when you get up there, but if you want to take a moment right now to just kind of plan out your next couple of hours, this is going to take us through the end of the day. Our goal is to get very different here with respect to how we treat vendors and how vendors treat us. We want to have a collaborative, real-time conversation about growing business and not just about product. So as you can see different people at different times. The only one that's a little bit different, I guess, so these are all dedicated sessions except for this last session here. So session 4, Sandpiper 2. If you go to that one, you'll be able to see 5, 6 different vendors at the exact same time. So it'll be a more rapid fire kind of situation, but these are some of the emerging sponsors. The rest of them are dedicated events. So session 4, Cyber Sales in IBIS from 6 to 6:30. Does that make sense? Any questions about the matrix and how to figure out your plan? So don't just go see your vendors, go see new vendors, right? The vendors you have, obviously you can definitely go talk to them, but that's kind of how that works. All right, so it's 4:30 is when this starts, so I'm going to leave this up for a minute or two, so you guys can pick your sessions. So we're going to have a break, and then all the sessions are upstairs. So if you come out here, there's stairs that go up, or you can take an elevator upstairs, all right? Enjoy it, guys.
Hello, everyone. How are we feeling? Good, good. We're almost to happy hour. Actually, we started a little bit early, so yeah, I was going to say, we started a little early, so if you would like to enjoy something to sip on while we go through the award ceremony, help yourself to a delicious beverage. So this is a really pivotal time of this event for me. So as we go through and we talk about what we're here to achieve, it's always so nice to look at those who have achieved it or who have started to achieve it. And what I'm talking about is growth. So at Marketopia, we have awards that we like to give out to signify or to commemorate different stages of growth as you're building your business. So we're gonna give out some of those awards, and I know some individuals are still getting ready for the pool party and different things, but we're gonna award to our MSPs and have a good time giving some of these out. So to help me with this, I'm going to bring up, if you do not know him, you should, Joe Panettiere. He's gonna give a little bit about himself, but welcome him up, Joe Panettiere. And then also to help me give out the awards, we've got Terry Hedden. Come on up.
Awesome.
Come on up.
Good to see you. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Before we start, I actually wanted to say thank you. For those of you who don't know me, let me give you just 30 seconds of background and what you two have done for me and what Marketopia has done for me. My name is Joe Panettiere. I am a former blogger in the MSP space. I previously co-launched, built, and sold, and I shouldn't say I sold, because my business partner, Amy Katz, who is the best person in the world, right up there. She really handled the exit for us. But I previously launched, built, and co-sold MSP Mentor, The VAR Guy, Channel E2E, MSSP Alert, and Talking Cloud.
Woo!
And it was a great run. We really enjoyed it. The applause is really about you, and that's what I want to get to. So I guess I met you guys maybe between 2008 and 2010 when we were building MSP Mentor. And you opened your arms to me, you opened the doors to me, invited me to various conferences. Terry, you always gave me guidance in terms of what was going on in the MSP market. At that time, just to give you some market stats, there were probably about 5,000 true MSPs in the market. Fast forward to present day, it depends who you really trust. Most of the experts will tell you 40 to 50,000 MSPs. I think that number is low because I think every IT consulting firm now has a managed services practice, so it's just a universal trend. Before we do the awards, if you want to talk to me offline, my only two focus areas these days are channel, angels. We do angel investing in MSP software startups that sell to and through you guys. We've done about 20 investments so far, and we're really enjoying it and learning a ton. The other thing I'm working on is Sustainable Tech Partner, which is all about green IT services. It's growing like a weed, and we're enjoying it. Enough about me, about you again. These awards, you should be really proud of yourselves. So let me give you some stats on the market. Everyone hypes this market. It's a great market, no doubt, but it ain't easy, and I feel your pain. 25% of MSPs are break even or losing money. 25% don't make any money in this market. That stat comes from Service Leadership. It's been out there like clockwork, no matter what year, good economy, bad economy, the stat goes something like this. The top 25% of MSPs, their EBITDA margins are roughly 18 to 20%. The middle 50% of MSPs, the big part of it, their EBITDA margins are about 8 or 9%. And then that bottom 25%, their EBITDA margins are 0 to money losing. So what you're achieving with Marketopia on the growth side is phenomenal. So congratulations
to you,
to everyone in the room, and also especially to the honorees. And thank you guys for bringing me in. So we're going to bring up each honoree individually, and I apologize if I butcher any names. I'm going to lean on you guys for some pronunciation corrections, et cetera, as we go along here, and also some context. So as we honor each company, please come up, accept the award. We'll do a quick photo op over here, right? Anything else I should announce before we get going?
Nope, that's it. We'll do a quick photo op, and then you can have fun with your award.
All right, fantastic. So let me see where we are here. I just want to see how these match
Well, yeah,
this.
go ahead.
Excellent, good.
Have Terry share a little something
Marketopia
about that.
has obviously a wide variety of clients and what they've achieved. And we're also sort of planning for the future because we already have clients that are 10 times what they were when we started, sometimes even 100 times what they were when we started. So we invented a series of levels. As you can see here, these are the award levels that actually have someone here that won them, right? So there's actually about twice as many levels just to make sure that we can keep people going throughout time. But basically it's around what you've achieved with respect to growing your business. You know, as your RMR increased by 2-fold, 5-fold, 10-fold, 20-fold, 50-fold, 100-fold, and because that's what it's all about for us. You know, our goal is to help you grow, and it's very simple, very clean, and we want to recognize you because, you know, at the end of the day, it's the commitment, the tenacity, the risk-taking, and frankly, the ability to close deals that we want to celebrate with you today. So those are what the award levels mean, and we're excited to hand them out today.
Fantastic, and I love the continued emphasis on risk-taking. My family was risk-averse until I came into this market, and thanks to conversations with you guys, I took a little more risk, reasonable risk, and it's worked out. So anyway, all right, on to the honorees. Let's go with this Jedi level, 25 times ARR. Before we bring up our honoree, like, you guys are 10 years into this. Give me some context. Is this crazy rare, or is this something you're beginning to see more and more in your MSP space?
You know, what we're seeing right now is the people who drink the Kool-Aid, and what I mean by that is getting leads has always been something we've been able to do pretty consistently.
Right.
But what we've really invested in as a company is helping people close deals.
Right.
And what we've seen is there's a number of companies out there that are actually drink the Kool-Aid. They're learning from each other during peer groups, learning from the sales training, and they're just knocking them down and achieving extraordinary things. So 25 times their Marketopia annual investment as a growth rate is a pretty impressive achievement.
Fantastic. And the honoree is Computer Doc.
Woo! Computer Doc. Dun, dun, dun.
Come on down.
Come on up. Who knows and
They've been
loves
so
these
successful.
gentlemen?
On a great
They've
year.
been so successful.
Yeah, come on up.
I love Kool-Aid.
I love it, man. Yeah, man. Good to see you.
I love Kool-Aid.
Congratulations.
They've been so successful that they take their plane in for peer groups, you know
It's
what I mean?
so true.
So,
Okay, wait, let's get a quick pic. Where's the camera? Wait, you hold this. This is you.
Kool-Aid.
Congratulations,
Awesome.
you guys.
Congratulations, guys.
Absolutely, congratulations.
Yeah, yeah.
Come here,
It's
you
you?
go. Mwah.
That's fine. He can hug all he wants.
Congratulations.
Love
No
it.
wandering hands.
Have a great 2024. Congrats.
Congrats.
Congratulations, guys. All right. Jedi. Very impressive.
And we
All
only
right,
have one
Sage.
of those. Yes.
All right, so I'm having flashbacks.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, off stage, but yeah, I spent too much time playing wizardry back in the day. 5 times ARR. 1 year more Marketopia. And by the way, it's good to see that stickiness, and I mean stickiness in a good way in terms of your partners staying on this journey with you. The next honoree is
E3. Yeah, come on. You don't need the stairs. You don't need the stairs.
Look at those
Yes.
socks.
Okay,
Wow.
so fun fact, fun story. Fun fact, fun story. Okay, I'll get a picture and then I'll tell you. Okay. Yay. So congratulations. So we give out small gifts and awards to clients when we are out at events, right? We're a vendor too, so we sponsor so many events out in the space. And when we do that, we always like to hang out with our clients who end up becoming really good friends, especially those who have stuck with us. It's fun to grow together, right? So that's what we do. We grow together and we end up becoming great friends because of it. It's fun to succeed together and help each other. So one of the things that we give out are these socks, and this is something that we created ages ago, and we said, okay, when what we care about is closing deals. So we want to give kind of a secret thing to Marketopia clients so that they can wear this to give them extra confidence when they close deals. So we have these socks that say "always be closing" on them. So no one knows, but like you're in there. Oh yeah, you have the other one. Oh wait. Oh, the bring in the bacon one. Oh okay, never mind.
I have that.
Yeah,
the closing ones
for deals. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so this is like we have bring in the bacon ones too, but the always be closing are ones that they wear to close deals. So yes, and he loves rocking the socks, which I love. So yeah, woo! Congratulations, yes. Yeah, you want to say something? You want to say something? Are you good? Okay. Congratulations.
so sad. I'm not in a sock club.
I know, I
I'm
know.
not in a sock
And
club
it's like
yet.
a secret. You don't. Yeah, the secret's in the socks. So.
Congratulations. Okay. We have a second
Another
stage.
stage.
award
Yep, we've
winner?
got a few stages.
Okay. Now, again, is this unique? Do you have a few stages every year, or is this?
So this is just growth. So
Fantastic.
yeah, there wasn't this many last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty neat.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations to
Nighthawk. Come on up. He's making his way. I was gonna say, you're not gonna.
Congratulations.
You know Ron is always gonna do that and do the jump. We got deals to close. We can't be breaking legs around here. Congratulations. Quick pick. You hold it. Congrats. Congrats.
5 times.
Congrats on a great year.
It's easy to put 5x on a slide, but think about that he's increased the
Yep.
value of his company by 500%. You know, it's pretty awesome. So.
Big deal.
Valuation. It's a math. You said it earlier. It's a math challenge.
Mhm.
Solve for the math. So Luminary. This is in the 2x ARR category. But again, you see the consistency here in terms of the stickiness, the relationship, the cadence working with you guys. And the honoree is
Here he is.